Welcome to day 2 of the Go High Level Reputation Agency course, where I show you how I scaled my business review harvest to over $26,000 per month, just helping local business owners get Google reviews using Go High Level. Today we're going to cover creating your website from the website template that I gave you, where you can just change some custom values and have your own custom sleek looking website up in an hour. We're going to go over getting phone numbers verified, setting up your own sub account for your own business to grow, and so much more. Remember, if you want access to the school community, up to 3 weekly coaching calls with me where I can meet you exactly where you are and help you through whatever hurdle you're dealing with, all the snapshots, this website template, and so much more, feel free to sign up with my link to Highlevel down below in the description. You'll get an extended 30-day trial instead of the normal 14 days. And if you're already a Highlevel user, you can just upgrade to the next plan and get access to everything for free. You can see I do charge $99 a month or $399 a year for paid access to the community, but I would much rather you just sign up with my link down below in the description so you don't have to pay me a dime directly. Without further ado, let's dive into day 2.
All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to create your own sub account. We're going to create it with this website template. So one important thing to note here is that in case you've gone out of order and you've already set up your white label domain or you had an existing high level account, you want to make sure you're logged in with app.gohighlevel.com and not your white label login. That can throw some errors when you're downloading snapshots, but all good. If you are in your white label domain, just log out, go to app.gohighlevel.com, and you can log in with your same exact information. And so what you want to do is you want to go ahead and click on this snapshot here. It's going to open up an app.gohighlevel. And then from there, you can go ahead and import it into your high level account. So let it load, click on yes, import now, and perfect. And so if you're going in order here, then you should not have a sub account set up for your business yet. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to set up a specific sub account for your business. And if you're confused as to what a sub account is and how that differs from agency view or high level, make sure to go back and refer to the defining terms video so you can see what kind of each one of these terms means. But basically, this is your agency view where you can see all of your global settings, and you can go to sub accounts and you can see all your clients under here, right? And we basically want to set up our own business as if we were a client here. So we want to have our own sub account. And so from here, now that we have this snapshot in our high level account, we want to click on create a sub account, and you want to do it from your imported snapshots, and you want to do your affiliate website official here. I can title this something differently to make it clearer to y'all, but click on select and continue, and then you can just add the information manually. And from here, you can add all of your information. So tester, test@gmail.com. You can add all your business information here. So what we said, pipe praise or whatever it was, pipe praise reviews, test. Just add your business name here. You can leave your niche empty. You can add a phone number there. You can add, this address doesn't really matter, but you can just add something in here for now. It is required. City, state, zip. This probably has to be a 5-digit something. And then you have to type in United States here and actually click on it. It's a little finicky there. And time zone can be whatever your time zone is. And you can go ahead and add sub account. And so that is how you create this sub account from scratch. But let's imagine that you already have an established business and you already have a sub account for your agency or for your business. And so you can just go to sub accounts, right? Go to sub accounts, go ahead and find your sub account here. Click on these 3 dots right here. We're going to manage the client. And then you want to go up to the top and we're going to load in the snapshot. So we're going to click on actions, load snapshot, pick a snapshot. You can go ahead and use this imported snapshot in here. I'll probably title this like the High Level House affiliate website or something like that, and proceed. And then here you want to to keep things really clean, I recommend, like, if you don't have anything in this sub account yet, just create a new sub account, just delete the other one, unless you already have a phone number and stuff. But just go ahead and select all. That's just going to make sure everything that needs to get added gets added. And that's important that everything gets added because there's certain things that are dependent on one another. For example, these 16 different custom values, they make up the website, right? And so the website template relies on these custom values. So if you skip the custom values here and then you say, oh, I just want to keep the website, I don't need the custom values, that messes things up. So you want to make sure you select all, you proceed, and it's going to check for conflicts, and you can just, just shows you. So you can see I already did this, so they're all already in there. But overwrite basically means it's going to overwrite what's already in the sub account, and skip means it's not. And so probably you want to overwrite, and then you can go ahead and proceed. I'm just going to skip because this was just the same exact. This was the same exact sub account before. Snapshot that I used before. And okay, that's complete. So that's how you set up your own personal, your own business sub account and use the affiliate website that I provided to y'all for the review template to set it up. All right, so now we want to go ahead and connect your calendars to this sub account. And so the reason we want to do this is once you have your website set up and it looks something like this, if someone does come to your site, clicks on Start Free somewhere, and they book a demo call or they book an onboarding call or something like that, we want to make sure that it's getting added to our calendar so we are reminded, and we also want to make sure these calendars are working properly and the appointment reminders are going out and stuff like that. So to do that, what you want to do is you want to go to Highlevel. You want to make sure you come to your sub account. So if you're in the agency view, make sure you find your sub account right here, click into it. From there, what you want to do is you want to go to settings down here at the bottom corner. I want to move this over here. And you want to go to calendars. And then you can see we got two calendars here. And so you can go ahead and just add connections. So click on connections. And from there, you want to let it load real quick. All right, we want to go ahead and connect a calendar. So click on add new. You can connect your Google Calendar, your iCloud, your Outlook, whatever you use. Connect. It's going to prompt you to then log in with your calendar and get this started. So let's go continue, allow, and then from there it should be connected. So we got that connected, and there is a way when you come into, you see linked calendars and then conflict calendars. So what this is meaning is if somebody's booking on a certain calendar, the linked calendar is where the calendar is going to go, right? And then conflict calendars, what this means is that on your little calendar widget on your site, it's going to look for times that you already have blocked off. So if you already have another appointment or you don't want to take calls at that time or whatever, the conflict calendar is going to look for that. And so you can adjust these settings here if you need to edit those. And then video conferencing, you can kind of just use Google Meet or you can use Zoom or whatever. Also, you can come into your calendars and you can kind of adjust that manually. So if we click on edit here and we go to this demo call, you can see you can add yourself as the team member to this calendar and stuff like that. And then from there, and if you don't know how to add yourself as a team member, basically all that means is you are added to the sub account as a user. And I'll show you how to do that right after this. But if you are using Google Meet, what I recommend, Google Meet's pretty much free, I think, and Zoom's free too. But what you can do is you can start, let's see how you do it. New meeting, create a meeting for later, start instant meeting. And they'll give you a link. One second. Yeah, so if you just click on new meeting, you click on create a meeting for later, you can just grab this link. And this is what I did for the longest time before I started paying for the pro plan of Zoom, which I think is definitely worth it because you can do kind of arrows on the screen and controller screen and stuff like that. But you can just copy this link. And then once you add yourself as a user, you can put your link in here. And then now this is going to be the meeting link for all of that and the location or whatever. And I also say, hey, you can put it here too. This is just kind of the default verbiage, but say, here. you can just say, here is the meeting link. And obviously, if you're meeting in person, what I would normally do when I was meeting with people in person, I'll say, hey, you're going to get a meeting link, but we'll both just know, hey, it's actually going to, we're actually going to meet at such and such coffee shop or whatever. And I just go ahead and adjust this color so it looks clickable. There you go. And let's go to, we can save that. I go to availability here. This is where you can adjust kind of when you want to take meetings, stuff like that. I don't recommend having look busy on. I mean, people are like, oh, you need to look like you're super packed. Like, people can see right through that, especially if you just messaged them and said that, hey, you're just getting started, So maybe somebody smarter than me thinks that's right, so go for it. But I don't recommend keeping that on. I think 30 minutes for the demo call is fine. And then you see date range here. This is like how far out in advance can somebody book. And so you really don't want this to be too long. I mean, you want to give people like 7 days, 7 to 10 days. When you're just like doing like a lot of hand-to-hand combat and you're just manually outreaching or manually follow up and stuff like that, and you're not spending a bunch of money on ads, because you want people to book, right? And the longer time you give them, the more availability, the more likely they are to book. But once you get past like 3 or 4 days, then like your show up rate is going to plummet. So what I would recommend is like allowing people to book out to 10 days, but trying to move that appointment up after they do book. And so minimum scheduling notice here, this is like, can somebody book for today? Can somebody book for tomorrow, today, or something like that? And you could just do like, I normally just do like hours. So I just like 4 hours. Never had anybody book in and not see it, but I pay attention to that stuff. So maybe you need more. Maximum bookings per day. This is like if you don't only want to have 4 meetings a day or something, but I wouldn't recommend that. You need these calls. We need these calls to make money. Pre-buffer time, like how much time do you need before? Post-buffer time, how much time do you need after? I just keep those blank, especially if you're online meetings. But if you're doing a lot of one-on-one, like in-person meetings right now, then you might need to put 20 minutes before and 20 minutes after to give you a chance to get from meeting to meeting and stuff like that. Maximum bookings per slot, this is going to be 1. But if you were to run ads, sometimes people that have a bad show-up rate will do 2. A lot of people book at the same time. They either show up and they try and sell them both, or one of them no shows, and at least that salesperson hasn't wasted 30 minutes or whatever. So that's that. Forms and payment, this is just like what information they fill out. So I keep the date and time thing first, so they can select the date and time, and then they can put a default form in and stuff like that. And auto confirm new calendar meetings. And so like if you want to manually confirm, you can do that. I recommend just keeping it on auto confirm. And then now they have some like native reminders, which is nice. So I recommend having an email appointment confirmed and an email reminder. But then we also have reminders and workflows as well. And definitely make sure you turn on this, allow Google and Outlook to send an invitation so people can just say yes and they have it on their calendar too. So definitely keep that turned on. You can allow rescheduling and cancellation on. That's what I do. And then customizations, you can just change the color. So you could put your brand color in right here. It's going to make the widget look like, you see the brand color here is purple. So it's going to make the widget look purple to keep things consistent. And so that's that. So we can save this, but now I'll just go ahead and show you. Oh, you can see there's an issue here. Don't know what's going on there. Let's save it. And from here, I'll go ahead and show you how to add somebody as a user. So go to your agency view. So we're going to agency view. We're going to go to settings. So you come to settings, you come to team, you can come and search yourself up here, click on this edit icon, and then you can go ahead and click on roles and permissions, and you can add yourself to that specific sub account. So you want to look up your sub account, make sure you're added as a user, and save. That way now in that calendar, you'll be able to see your own person, and you can add your Google Calendar there. One last thing on the calendars here is that in your sub account with this snapshot that you imported, if we go to automations, you can see this workflow will be covered in the website setup and customization training coming up next. But these 2 workflows here are just generic demo call and onboarding call reminders. And so they're going to be triggered off of this appointment here. You want to go to event type, normal, appointment status, in calendar, and this is the demo call one. So you want to do in calendar and demo. So I don't know why that's not showing up. Let's see. So you can see it's not showing up here because we need to go and make these calendars active. And so if we go to calendars and then calendar settings, we need to go ahead and turn these calendars to activate them. So activate them and activate calendar. There we go. So now that both of these calendars are activated, we can go into automations here and we should be good to go. Click on demo calendars, appointment here, and you can see, yep, demo call is connected there. Perfect. And we can check and make sure onboarding call is good too. Appointment, and yep, onboarding call is good there. And you can see these are just very generic follow-ups and stuff. Just emails, 1-2 text and stuff like that. I do have a no show, no more snapshot that will be available here soon. That's only available for my.
This is super exciting. The website for all my affiliates, the Google review website is ready. And today we're going to set it up in about 25 minutes. I've got a Google Doc outlining every step of the process and a checklist to make sure you set up correctly. But before we dive in, let's just see what the finished product can look like. So I think yours is actually going to look a little bit better than this because I made a couple more tweaks after this to make it look a little bit better. But you can see super clean website. Doesn't look like it's built on Highlevel. It'll be perfect to get you up and running. There's no reason you can't get your first 50 to 100 clients with this. This is way better than the website I had when I got my first 50, 60, 70 clients. So let's dive in. So here's kind of the prerequisites. So you're going to need a domain, right? And I like to use GoDaddy for that. It integrates with Highlevel super seamlessly, so it's easy to connect. So you're going to need a domain. You're going to need a Canva account because we're going to edit the logos and a couple backgrounds and stuff like that. And I'm going to give you all the templates for that. But we're going to use Canva for that. So I think it's like $10 a month is their cheapest plan. You probably can get away with the free plan. I don't know for sure if you can remove backgrounds or not, but it's super easy. I literally have the templates made for you. So you literally just click on them and you can just edit them however you'd like to. I'm trying to make this as simple as possible for y'all. So logo, once again, you can use Canva to make a free one. Just look up like logos and just put some stars or whatever. Like, don't overthink this. The goal is just to go ahead and get something set up so we can start reaching out to people. We have some sort of website or something they can check out. And also we can use this to get the toll-free numbers verified. 4, obviously a high-level account. 5, Nifty Images. This is optional, but we do have basically a pop-up form on the website that says, hey, do you want to send a preview? And we can send them a preview of that personalized image. And so I'll show you how to set that up with your Nifty Images account. It's like $25 a month. You'll need that for the personalized images for the review requests as well. So you should already have that. And then Stripe account. Stripe account's optional. If you're like just getting started, you don't have a Stripe account or an LLC yet, that's all good. You don't need it. It's just that on our pricing tables, I'm going to show you how to put the payment links in there. But for now, I just have them automatically directing to a calendar where people can book, and then you can worry about payment and stuff later. Most people are going to want to book a call with you anyway before they put their card information in, especially when you're just getting started. All right, so big disclaimer here. I am not a website designer and editor. And so I'm not a professional at this. This is just, I paid somebody to make something look really good. And then I just kind of tweaked it and added the custom values and made it really easy for you to get started with it. This video should show you pretty much everything you need to know about to get your website live. I'm going to go over the basic functions of editing. Once again, I use custom values to make it really easy so you don't have to use the editor, the website editor at all, really. But please direct any questions you have about the website and stuff to the search bar in the community. So if you don't know how to do that, go to the school community and just search up something. You can do it here. And before you ask, just watch the entire video. Watch the entire video because I might answer your question. And then there's this thing called YouTube that's got about 10,000 videos about how to edit websites on Highlevel and stuff like that. So you can figure it out. I trust you. And seriously, if you watch this video, it should answer 99% of your questions. All right, so let's go to the first step, getting access to the website. So I pasted a link here if this little hyperlink doesn't work, but all you have to do is just click on this link right here and redirecting. Cool. So you want to make sure that you're logged in with app.GoHighLevel.com and not your white label domain when you're importing this snapshot. Because when you're importing snapshots and you're not logged in, you're logged into your white label domain, it kind of messes things up. And so we're going to go ahead and just click on yes, import now. Make sure we're in app.GoHighLevel.com. And boom, there we go. Highlevel affiliate website official.
So this is your affiliate website, and this is the official one. And so now what you can do, you can either create a new sub account. You can either create a new sub account with this snapshot just by going here and creating a sub account, which that's what we're going to do. Or what you can do is you can go to your sub accounts. So let's say this is already your sub account you have right here. You can go to manage client, find it under sub accounts, go find your sub account. You can go to manage client, and then you can load this snapshot in. It's not going to mess anything up. You can just click on actions and you can load the snapshot right here. And then you can choose the snapshot, affiliate website official. And then you want to go ahead and proceed. And you want to make sure you select all and proceed. And then you're going to override, checking for conflicts. You're going to overwrite all. And then you'll be good to go. And that's going to load it into the snapshot. You'll get a notification. That's going to load the snapshot into the sub account. And you'll get a notification right here once it's complete. But what we're going to do now is we're just going to create a new, because I'm going to show you from scratch how to do this. So we're going to create a new account, and we're just going to add it manually. And you can just add your name and your information in here. So and you can go ahead and add the United States. Perfect. And time zone, just go ahead and put in whatever time zone is. And then you can add sub account. So that's going to take a second to load in here. And while that loads in, I'm going to go ahead and show you some of these templates. So all these Canva templates are linked in, all these Canva templates are linked in the document, right? So you can find these in this Google Doc. And when you open them up, it's going to say, oh, Clay shared a template with you. And then all of these are fully customizable. So you see how I'm editing over this, and I can like change the color of this, change the text, change this, change that. Everything is very easily customizable. I think that's the way you say it. I don't know for sure. But yeah, you can change all this stuff out. You can see there's about 20 in here. Here's an example of the personalized image. You can change the photo if you want to, whatever, change the name, but everything can be edited. And so that's going to allow us to all have these easy templates just to use, but they all look different. So it doesn't look like we all have the same website or everybody's using the same stuff. You can see review request, example, just stuff like that. So now that it is loaded into a sub account, we can go ahead and switch to the sub account. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to work on the logo. So logo instructions, you'll see, click here, and this is going to pop open with this logo. We're going to have two different versions of the logo. We're going to have a logo for the navigation bar at the top, and we're going to have a logo for the footer down at the bottom. The footer is on a black background, and the navigation bar is on a white background. So you want to make sure that the navigation one looks good on a white background. So that's why I have it here. And you want to make sure that the footer one looks good on a black background. So just change the color of your logo to white, and you can just leave your brand color, whatever it is. And if you're having trouble like figuring out what logo, just go to design and look up like logos. Oh wait, how do you do that? Styles, template, logo. Here, wait, let me show you this. Circle. If you go, let me just pull up Canva from the jump. All right. So if you want to create a logo, just look up like logo. Search for logo. It's going to give you a bunch of examples, a bunch of templates that you can use just to start with. So you could just start with, let's say, this is fine. And we're going to go ahead and customize this template. And you can go ahead and make your logo. So you're going to make one with white that looks good on a white background and one that looks good on a black background. And then I think you need to download something transparent. You just share. You're going to download, and you're going to download with a transparent background. And then you want to make it a little bit bigger so it's more easy to be customized. And I think you need a professional plan, a paid plan of Canva. I think it's like $10 a month to download it. You can cancel it once you get all your transparent backgrounds and stuff. But yeah, so you're going to go and do that, and you're going to download it. And then you're going to come into this template. This template, once again, that's linked right here. And this template already has the proper size. So we want this size to be about 600 width by 100 height. That's just going to make sure it doesn't get squashed. It doesn't get, doesn't look bad on the website. And you're going to go ahead and add the logo here. So once you download it, you can then just upload the logo here, whatever, upload it there, and it's going to load in under your uploads. And then you can see there it is right there. And from there, you just go ahead and add it, and you want to make it big. So you want to make it take up this whole entire space pretty much, right? And then from there, you're going to click on share, and you're going to download, and we're going to download these with a transparent background. And then it's going to download as a zip file. So when it downloads as a zip file, you have to then go ahead and open it up. So you'll go ahead over here, boom, and then you'll just open up the zip file so that you have both of the, see, there you go. And now you have both these files independently right here. And so now once you have these files, what I want you to do is I want you to go to your media storage section of the sub account that you just created, and I want you to upload these files. So let's go here. We're going to go to the logo for website, and we're going to go ahead and upload these files. You can see there's about 600 by 100, 600 width by 100 height. We're going to go ahead and upload them in here. Sweet. So now that we have these uploaded, we're going to go ahead and download this, get this link. So click on the three dots, click on Get Link, and then you're going to click on Settings. And then you're going to come down to the custom values section. And you can see we've got about 15 custom values loaded in here already. And these are supposed to make it really easy for you to just add the value in here and not even really have to deal with the editor at all. So logo for navigation, this is the one with the white background. So let's just go ahead and see what link I downloaded because I forgot. All right, this is the one that's going to look good on a black background. So we want to first go back here. This is going to be the logo in the footer because it's got the white text. It's going to look good there. And so we're going to go ahead and enter value, and we're just going to paste that link right there. So boom, now we automatically have that logo on the footer all across the website. Easy peasy, right? Now the next thing, we're going to go back to media storage, and now we're going to download the logo that looks good in the navigation. So you see the black text there. We're going to click on Settings again. We're going to click on Custom Values. And then we're going to go to the logo in the navigation. Looks good on a white background, 600 by 100 height. And we're going to click on Edit Custom Value, and we're going to go ahead and paste that in there. So we're going to paste that link in there. Boom. Now we've got the logo on the navigation across the whole site, and it looks good. Perfect. All right, now we're just going to go add some basic information. So like business name, let's go here, edit business name. We're going to say Review Blast. Hope all y'all don't use the branding Review Blast. But we'll go ahead and update that. Perfect. And then we're going to go ahead and add the business email. So now everywhere that business name is listed on the website, now it's custom to this Review Blast right here. So now we're going to do the same thing with the business email. We're going to say clay@reviewblast.com or whatever your email is. It can be a Gmail. It's not the end of the world. It's not one of those things. It's just a detail. You can change it later. The priority here is just to get set up and get rocking and rolling. Business phone number. So we're going to do the same thing, business phone number. So this is going to look exactly as you put it in there. So you kind of want to make it pretty with like the quotations, the space, and then 3 more digits, then dash, and then 4 more digits right there. And now that's going to be all across the website. Perfect. All right, now we got that set up. That's good. Let's go back. We've done the logo. Sweet. So now what we want to do is we want to do the hero background image. So what this is on the website like that I showed you. Let's just scroll to the beginning here. You see how it has this kind of purple blur? That is through just a background image. So all that is it's a template that I have shared with you here. You can see, click here for the template. That's going to take you to this page right here. And so what you want to do is you want to find your brand color, find whatever color you're using for your logo. If you're using like this blue color or something, find that. And you want to change this color of the blur to that exact hex code. And so to grab a hex code from Canva, just click on the logo and you can see here, boom, we got that right there. We can hover over this color. We want to do this blue color, and you just want to copy that. And then you want to go back to the review hero image, and you could just like duplicate this, and you don't have to duplicate it, but you can just go here, click on add color, and boom. Now it's that same blue color, so it's going to match your logo. And then for the opacity, you'll see it looks really light here. Once we put it on the website, it'll look a little bit darker, but I think anywhere between like 10 and like 15 is probably good for the transparency and the opacity right here. So you can leave that. But this is the branding I'm using. I'm using the purple one right now for the Review Blast logo to match it. So I'm just going to use this one. And so all you do is just download it. And you want to make sure you download it as a transparent background. And I would go ahead and increase the size to like 2000 or something just because it's going to be in the background. So you want to make it big. And if you don't want to download a zip file, you just want to download one of these pages or whatever, just click on the one page, download it, and boom, There you go. You're good to go. And you can see the transparency of this is 13. So this will kind of give you an idea of what it is. So sweet, we've got that there. Now we want to go back to the media storage. And we want to go ahead and upload that into here. So let me see if I can just drag and drop it in here. Boom. And then we're going to grab the link. So it's uploaded. Now we're going to get this link by clicking on the 3 dots, then clicking on get link. And then we're going to go to settings. And we're going to go to custom values again. And then we're going to go to this brand color blur background for the hero. The hero, what that means is it's like the top. It's the top of the website. It's like what people land on. It's like above the fold. And the fold is just like people don't have to scroll to see it, right? And so we're going to click on edit custom value, bada bing, bada boom. And there we go. We got that link pasted in there. And so now we have a blur on that background that matches the same color as our logo. So it's looking consistent. It's looking good. All right, so now we're going to get a little bit complicated. Not really. I tried to, once again, trying to make it very simple. But what we're going to do is we're going to grab some codes, some color codes, some hex codes, and some RGB codes, and we're going to add them to the website, because everywhere these colors are on the website, like you can see on this video, you see all the places that the purple is. You see that like places that we have like light purple, like see like light purple, dark purple, whatever. We're going to do that same thing, but for your brand color. And so there's 3 different versions of this color. There's the pure hex code. So that's going to be like the hashtag, it's going to give you 6 digits or something like that. And that's going to be just the color you get from Canva. So that's going to be this color right here. This is the pure hex code that you want for your logo. And then what you're going to do, go to this template, and go to this document. And if you click on brand colors, you can see I've got kind of a guide of what's going on here. So if you use this tool, it's a totally free tool. It's called colorkit.com, I think, or colorkit.co. And if you open this up, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and paste that hex code right there. So boom, this is going to give us the hex code for that. And it's also going to give us the RGB code that we need. And so now we're going to go back to the custom values. This brand color hex code is just going to be the hashtag one that I just got from Canva. So we're going to just paste that in there. And then once it's loaded in, you can see perfect. We got it there. And so now the only part where it gets a little bit tricky is you see if you go back to ColorKit, this free website that we're using, you see this RGB code right here. We want to copy this RGB code, copy it, and then we're going to go to the brand color section. And you see how it says 5%? This is for the backgrounds of these little blurbs. So see how that background right there is like a light purple, a little bit lighter than the border? What we're going to want to do is we're going to want to paste that in. So we're going to go ahead and paste this RGB code in here. But then what we're going to do is we're going to add one more comma, and we're going to do 0.05 right there. And so what that just did was, you can see it added like 5% opacity to it. So it made the RGB, it made the color a lot clearer. And so I already have all the purple colors saved here, but so I'm going to grab them from here. So you can see RGB. Oh, and go ahead and add an A there. I think I did that. Yeah, I think I had some issues there. So go ahead and add an A after the RGB. I don't know if that matters or not, but I think just go ahead and do it. But you can see here, we're going to do the same thing for the slightly darker border colors, and we're going to add this RGB code. You can see 20% opacity, so it's going to be that same thing, but it's going to be the 20%. And now I'm switching back to purple, so don't get confused here. It should be the same code. Let me just go ahead and grab the 5% code that I just put in here. So grab the RGBA 5% code. Put that back here because we're just going to use the purple branding for now. I was just showing you y'all's, and you want to make sure I need to change that hex code to the purple as well. So now we're going to grab this hex code as well and put it to the purple. So boom, edit custom value, and I'm going to put that there. Once again, we just want to make this consistent. We want to make the colors consistent, and so we're using the hex code to then figure out the RGB codes from this ColorKit site, and then we're just changing the opacity to 5% and 20%. And by adding it to the custom values, instead of having to go find everywhere this color is to change it, you can just add these custom values and you're good to go. And so then we have the Facebook link right here. So we want to go ahead and add the Facebook link. And so I'm just going to add reviewers.com here for now, but you just add the link to your Facebook page. So all the Facebook buttons in the footer, it's automatically direct them to your Facebook page. And if you don't have one, not a big deal. You just put your website there for now or whatever. And then you would add your Instagram link as well. Don't worry about getting all this stuff set up perfectly and all the right links and whatever. If you don't have this set up, I mean, the goal here is to get a website set up, period. Not very many people are going to click on the Facebook or Instagram link in the beginning because you're not going to have much traffic in the first place. All right, and then we're going to come back to this other stuff here. This is going to be for your forms on your site, and for submitting the toll-free numbers, you need to have the privacy policy linked into those forms and stuff like that. So we're going to come back to that, but let's go ahead and move on to the next step. So we got the brand colors set up. We can go ahead and start to look. Now that we have these in, I can go ahead and show you kind of how the site's coming along. So if you click at sites right here, go to websites, because it's not a funnel, it's a website. We're going to the review site, and let's just go ahead and preview it and see how it's looking. See, look, we got the logo in there automatically. We got the colors in there. We got the blur. That might be a little bit dark. You might want to put it down to 12% opacity on here, but it's looking good. And you can see when I just try to exit out, we have this pop up. And I'll show you how to change this color and stuff too. By default, the colors on the forms and the calendar are black, just because you can't use custom values for that. So black will look good on all of them. But you can see this is basically a pop-up form that we can get some leads from, and we can send them a sample personalized image. And I'll show you how to do that here in a second. But you can see the website's already coming together, already looking really good. We got the purples, the correct shades of purple. We got the icons being purple. So if you put your blue in here, it would be blue all across it, right? You see, boom, we got the text coming in. We got all that coming in. All these links are just going to take you to the sales call page or the demo call page. But yeah, everything's looking good so far. We got the pricing plan set up. So we've made a lot of progress already. So now let's go back. We've got that. Let's go to brand colors. We did that. Custom graphics. Okay. So these custom graphics, they're not through custom values just because you're only editing them in one place. So it's not a big deal. But if you click on here for the templates, you can go here, and this is where you download these images, right? So you can download, you can customize them. Say, I'm not focusing on repair shops, I'm focusing on dentists. So let's say dentists near me, or we can say plumbers near me, whatever you're focusing on, plumbers near me. And if you're on the pro plan of Canva, they should give you a bunch of stock images. So let's look up plumber. Boom, graphics, we can just add this plumber graphic here instead, and we can double click on it. So see how it's not right where I want it, so we can double click on it to kind of move it around, include his face in there, or if you want to get the fact that he's working on something there, boom, now it looks more like a plumber. And so then once again, we could just download these. You can download them all. You want to download them with a transparent background, so it looks good. You can download them all, and it's going to come in a zip file, or you can just download one at a time. And then basically from there, we can just download one, transparent background. It's gonna give us the download. And from there, we're gonna go back to the media storage, and we're gonna just go ahead and upload this custom graphic. And we're gonna go ahead and get that link. And so you can also do that through the builder. So let's show you how to add that. So go to sites, go to websites, go to review site. We're going to edit the home page here. So we're going to edit in a new tab just to keep that one open. And you can see when you go to the editor, things are going to look a little bit different because the custom values don't propagate yet. They don't propagate till you go preview. So a lot of this is going to be gray. And actually, no, it looks like they came through. Sometimes they don't propagate. If you just change the custom value, it's not going to propagate. But you can see if you click on this and then you click on the color that it's choosing from a boom, boom. It's choosing from a custom value here. So that's just where it's set. But to change these custom graphics right here, you just click on the image, and then now you can either click on that photo you just uploaded, boom, and it's there. It's just the same exact image, but you can upload more. You can upload more here, download more from Canva, and just change them out with to your liking. So there's 3 here. Use whatever ones you want to out of the 20 that are added there that are kind of relevant to whatever text you have. The text on the site is good. It's good to go. I mean, I would recommend if you have the time, eventually you'll want to change it because everybody's going to have this text by default. But it's
ready to rock. Like you can just get this set up. This is really just so you have something that someone can look at and that you can get phone numbers approved for. And it looks good. I mean, it looks really good. It's gonna convert. Like it's not gonna just be like, oh, what the heck is this? It doesn't look like somebody just took a second and grabbed a Highlevel template. You know, it looks a lot cleaner than that. And so good, we're making some progress there. You can't publish it yet because it's not attached to a domain. We'll connect a domain here in a second, but then you just want to make sure you save it before you leave and stuff like that. So that's how you do the custom graphics. All right, video sales letter and explainer video. So you can see on this preview, I have basically a placeholder for a video sales letter, you can really add whatever you want to here. So I put some options here. You can do a compilation of your video testimonials. That's what I have. So on reviewharvest.com, if you go to my website, you can see I have a video of, this is basically just a compilation of all of my video testimonials. So, you know, it's just people raving about Review Harvest. And obviously when you're getting started, you might not have that, right? And that's okay. And so you can do a couple things. You can just remove it. Like you can just come here and you can go edit. Edit, you can just click on this section right here and you can just delete it, and that's fine. That's no big deal at all. You can just add it later once you have it. Or, you know, even if you want to keep it saved, you can click on it and you can click on advanced and you can just click here and here and then it's hidden. Nobody can see it, but it'll still show up under the layers. It'll still show up as a video section here. You see how it's hidden. And then once you have it, you can just, once you do have a video, you can go ahead and just, you know, put it visible on mobile and desktop again, and then people will be able to see it. But you have some other options here. So if you don't have video testimonials, maybe you just have like one client that you've got results. What you could do is just make a little Loom video and just be genuine and just say, hey, here's a client that we helped go from 20 reviews to 65 reviews, and here's how we did it, and here's how it affected their ranking, and you know, whatever. And if you have like a little review from them, or like a text they sent you that's positive, you can include that. Or you can go to Fiverr and you can just get a whiteboard explainer video. These are like the videos that say, oh, here's how we get your reviews. And it's like a whiteboard writing out. I think they're like $60, $50-$60 or nothing crazy. This is a little bit more expensive, but you get a professional spokesperson. So these are people that like just literally their job is to make videos for companies. And so they'll put your logo in the background, whatever, and they'll say, you know, you give them a script, they say, and they'll say it. Those are normally, you know, 100 to 500, $600, depending on how good it is and how long you want the video to be. And the fifth thing is like, if you don't have anything yet, you can just like record a Loom, tell your story, say, hey, my name's Clay. I help people get Google reviews. Honestly, just to let you know, I'm just getting started, and that's why we're doing it for free. I'd love to help you out. Here's kind of the process, and you show them, and here's the benefits. It's going to save you time, going to make you more money, help you rank higher on Google. So you have options there. You can delete it. You can use any of these things here, but that should help out. All right, so now pricing table links. So right now, by default, all of these links that on the pricing table, like choose starter, choose growth, choose pro, whatever, all of these are just directing to the sales call, the sales page. And so it's taking a second here to load. You make sure it's linked properly, but let's pause this real quick. So you can see it just took you to this page, and the calendar widget will be here once you get that loaded. So all you do to make sure you have that calendar widget in there is just go to the demo call, click on edit. Those calendars should already be in there because it came over with the snapshot, and I just have like some default reminders and stuff set up and some basic info. But yeah, you click here, click on demo call, just switch between demo and onboarding, and it should save. We'll make sure that the calendar is configured properly. Let's see what's going on with it. All right, so it's not working, and I'm guessing why it's not working is because there's not a user attached to it. And so if we go to calendars, calendar settings, you can see we've got two calendars here. I think the issue that we're running into is that when you click on edit, I think it's the please select team member. So you don't have a team member showing here, and you need at least one showing. So how you go ahead and add a team member to that account is you just add yourself to this sub account as a user. So let's switch back to agency view and then go to settings and then go to team. And let's just go whatever. Carly. We're going to edit your user. So just search whatever user you want to do. You can search your name here and
and just click on edit, and then click on roles and permissions, and then just go ahead and add the sub account. So under add sub accounts, go here. We're gonna do demo website. We're gonna add it. We're gonna save. All right, now that that's saved, we're gonna go back to the demo website. And we're gonna go to calendars. We're gonna go to calendar settings. We're gonna click on edit, these 3 dots, and then edit. And then right here, when you see select a team member, we're gonna go ahead and add Carly. Boom, there we go, or whatever, whoever you just added, yourself, etc. And we're gonna save that, and we're gonna do the same thing for the onboarding call, and we're gonna see if that fixes it. And you can adjust the name of these calendars and stuff like that. I'll show you how to do more of that later. But you can see that saved, so we're good. So we're gonna go ahead and close it out and do the same thing for the demo, for the onboarding call. So we're gonna edit this, 3 dots, edit, scroll down, select team member, your name there, whoever you added, save. And we're gonna close it out. Perfect. All right, so now if we go and refresh this demo page, this demo call page, let's see if it worked now. All right, we're still having some issues here, so let's see. We'll go. So we're in the editor here. Let's go ahead and go to the demo call page, and let's see if it's still giving us an error. Boom. Demo call, onboarding call, demo call. All right, let me troubleshoot this real quick. All right, so I got it fixed here. Very simple solution. All it was in the snapshot. When I go to calendars, the status of these calendars were deactivated. So it says it was in draft mode. So you just want to make sure both of these calendars are activated. I'll go ahead and try and update the snapshot. So just by default, they're activated and they're active, so they're good to go. So now you can see we go to demo call, we're there. We go back to the home page. And you'll see too, like the loading takes a while, especially when you're in the preview mode for some reason. So once you connect the domain and stuff, it should be more intuitive. And these links up here, it should be quicker. I mean, these links up here don't work until you attach your domain, and I'll show you why. Once again, if we go down here to the pricing plans now, choose growth or choose pro, whatever you want to choose, it takes you to the demo call page. So that's good. That's what we want to see. Once again, the only reason it wasn't working before was because these were not activated. So you make sure they're activated. But what you can do, if you already have payment links set up for subscriptions for your in Stripe, once again, everybody's like, oh, SaaS mode, oh, Highlevel connected, whatever. As long as your Stripe and your Highlevel account are connected, and to do that, you just go to switch to agency view, you go to the settings in the agency view, and you go to Stripe and just make sure it's connected. As long as all this is connected, you're good. If you get it in Highlevel, it's going to go to Stripe. If you get it through Stripe, it's going to go to the Highlevel. So I like using Stripe. Stripe does a better job of like automating payment updates, card information updates, and I like just managing stuff in Stripe personally, but you can do it a different way if you'd like to. So let's go back to the demo account. All right. And so if you want to update the payment links to put the proper payment link in there, all you do is just go to sites. You go to websites again. You can see I already have the editor pulled up, but you go to home, you go to edit, you can edit in a new tab, and then it's going to pop up here. We'll scroll down to the pricing section, pricing plans, and then click on the button right here. Just choose the starter, and then scroll down. And instead of the go-to page being demo call, you can do website URL, and then you can paste the payment link in here. And to grab a payment link from Stripe, let's just go to Stripe account. Today I get some big payments from franchise, so today's a good day so far. Good start before 8 a.m. And you can see we can just go to your product catalog, and you just want to generate a subscription. So first you want to just create a product. You want to make it a recurring product, put the amount, no tax, billing monthly, whatever, put all that information in. And then once you've created the product, we can just find my starter product. You can see starter plan, boom. And once you have the plan, you can go ahead and click on plus right here. And, oops, excuse me, that's not what you want to do. You see here as the pricing, stuff like that. And then if we go to, let's see, payment and then payment links, there we go. Payment links, and then you want to create a new payment link with that product you just created. So starter, boom, whatever. And then you just go ahead and create the link. And then from there, you can grab that. One thing I'd recommend is that what you can do is you can redirect. So after the customer purchases, after payment, you can redirect them to a link. So let's say we show a confirmation page, replace default custom message, product subscriptions. This is set up as an invoice right now. Let's see, options, customer address, include a free trial. You can add the 14-day free trial here. Starter, collect customer address, require phone number, whatever. And after payment, show confirmation page. Don't show confirmation. Don't show confirmation page. Redirect to website. What you can do is you can then, once you publish your domain and stuff, you can grab the onboarding call link and you can direct them to the onboarding call link after they pay. And so all you would do here in Stripe is you would just go ahead and click on create the link once you added that link there. And then to add the payment link there, you can go back to the editor, choose each button. Basically, you want to create a unique payment link for each one. So a payment link for your starter plan, a payment link for your growth plan, a payment link for your pro plan. And then you just paste that website URL there. So when they click on that, it opens in a new tab and it takes them there. But for now, I'm just going to leave it default to the demo call. So yeah, perfect. So that's how you can add your payment links if you want to. Once again, you don't have to do that. Not required whatsoever. I didn't make any edits, so I didn't want to save it there. But if you want to add your pricing table, great, you can. If not, just leave it as default and it's going to direct it to the demo call. All right, so let's go to domain setup. So this is DNS is not fun. Setting up DNS records is not fun, but if you purchased your domain through GoDaddy, it should be super duper simple. So all you do to set up the domain for it is go to settings, go to domains. We're going to click on connect a domain. I don't recommend you purchasing the domain through Highlevel right now. I don't know, because if you cancel, I think you might lose the domain. I don't know exactly how that works, but click on connect a domain. We're going to type in your domain here. Reviewharvest.org is what I'm going to use. And we're going to continue. And you want to say, yep, check this. Also want to add that. And if you're not using GoDaddy or something that Highlevel integrates with seamlessly, you might need to look at this later. But just go ahead and click on continue. It's going to load in. It's going to say, you're connected to GoDaddy. Can we authorize your domain in GoDaddy? Go there and just say, yep, that's perfect. I want you to connect. I want you to add the records yourself. Perfect. So now we're going to close this out. And then it's going to say it's going to might take 30 seconds, a minute or two to update the DNS records. So we'll let this authorize real quick. That took about 30 seconds. So now we want to attach this to a website. So click on website there. Find the website. We want to do the review site template. Select the default page. We want it to be home. And the additional options, you can just go ahead and choose the home page or something as the 404 error page. I don't know too much about that stuff, so do whatever you do if you know something more about that than me. But click on proceed to finish. And then from there, you can see, all right, sweet, we got these connected. We got these domains in here. We want to go back to the sites. We want to click on, sites, website, review, website template. Go to the settings, make sure it's up here, select it as default, perfect. And now what we want to do is we want to add this domain to our custom values. So click on settings. We're going to go to custom values. And then we're going to go, you can see some of these might be hiding because it's 50, because there's 15 of them. But see, number 14 is website domain. We're going to click on this right here, edit custom value, and we're going to go ahead and paste in the domain. Perfect, that's good. I don't think you need the HTTPS, I'm pretty sure. We'll see shortly, I guess. And great, so we've got that there. Now what we want to do is we want to grab the privacy policy link and the terms of service link. So how we do that is let's just go ahead and first we have to publish it. We have to publish this website. So we're going to go click on edit.
And since we just connected to the domain, now we can finally publish it. So we're going to click on publish. And if you want to change these slugs, I'll show you how to do that here. But now that it's published, we'll go ahead and click on this right here. And you can see now we're on reviewharvest.org. We've got this pop-up. This pop-up is going to come upon exit. So if somebody scrolls their mouse over like they're going to exit or get out, that's when it's going to pop up. But you can see everything's looking good. We're rocking and rolling. We want to go ahead and grab our terms and conditions and privacy policy link. So click on privacy policy. And you can see here's a place where you can go ahead and add your privacy policy. Not legal advice. You can just use ChatGPT to create something. It's not going to be the best bum up legal thing ever, but it's better than nothing. So yeah, eventually you're going to want to get something official there, but you can just use ChatGPT to get a privacy policy. Just basically say, hey, we help people get reviews. We get their contact information. We want to be alleviated of any liability. Make sure do all that stuff. I can make another video about privacy policy and terms and conditions, but I'm kind of scared to, honestly, because I'm not legal counsel here. But go ahead and grab this privacy policy link, and we're going to go ahead and take this back to the custom value, and we're going to paste this in here. What this is doing is on all our forms throughout the site, it's linking the proper thing to it, so you don't have to go into each form and go add it manually. And so now we're going to do the same thing with the terms and conditions, or terms of service, kind of same thing. Terms and conditions, copy. And we're going to paste that link into the terms of service here. Perfect. Great. Awesome. And now we're really rocking and rolling. So you can see we've got a website. Congrats. You got a website. You click on this, the logo. It takes you back to the home page. You see we're scrolling through. We got everything set up. The photos are correct. The colors are correct. Pricing plans taking you to the demo page. It's great. And the onboarding, I don't have the onboarding page linked here, but you still have it if you want to send people that direct link, right? And if you click on these features, about us, testimonials, it's going to go back to the homepage, and then it's going to go to that specific section. And so if you click on testimonials, it went back to the homepage and it went to the specific section. The way it did that is I have a custom value for the domain that you added. That's why it doesn't work until you add your domain to the custom values. And then just this section ID takes it to a specific part on the page. And so like how you do that is you just go to the section, and you can see down at the bottom, if you go click on advanced, the bottom, here's the section ID. And so you just have to add that to the end. But everything's good out of the box. You don't have to edit anything here, but you can see it's just custom value domain and then section ID is added there. So everything's looking great. We're plucking along. And so really the last thing to do is just to create the personalized image and just tie up some loose ends. So let's, anytime you save it, just go ahead and publish it as well. But let's go. We're already done with this site, so let's clear that out. All right, so pricing tables set up. All right, forms and calendar. So if you want to change the forms and calendar to not be black, like the buttons to not be black on it, that's just by default because you can't use the custom values. So I figured black would look the best. But you can go into each form and calendar and add the hex code. So how you do that is you just go out into the sub account. We're going to click on sites, and then we're going to click on forms. And we want to make sure we have that hex code. So earlier I told you the hex code is going to be like your main one. And this is the hex code for the purple one right here. So we're going to go ahead and grab that hex code there. And now we're going to, once again, sites, forms. We're going to go to the pop-up form. We're going to edit this. And we're going to click on this black button right here. And click on the background for this. And we're going to go ahead and paste in that hex code here. Boom. Now it's going to be purple. Perfect. That looks great. You see these privacy policy and terms and conditions. It's not linked through your, when you're doing the website, when you're in the form builder, it's not going to be linked, but I'll show you on the site how it's linked. And then if you want to, I guess you could change this color to purple too. I don't know if that's going to look too bad or not. Once again, not a designer. Yeah, I don't like that. We're not going to do that. We're just going to change it back to black. But yeah, you can save that. So now on the website, that's going to be purple. It's going to look better. And then we can do the same thing on the other form, the contact us form. Because you can see here on your website, there's a contact page. And it looks like it's directing to the home page right now. So we need to figure that out. But contact page. Yep, there you go. Take us to the contact us page. Looking good, looking good. And so I'm just going to make sure that that contact page is linking. I'll update this snapshot so it's updated for y'all. We're going to do that to the contact page. Yep, submit. We're going to save and publish that. Perfect. All right, so the pop-up form is set. Now we want to change the contact form. So that's saved. Let's go to the contact form, the website form right here. We're going to edit it. And once again, we're just going to add to this button. We're going to make this button purple instead of that black color that it is by default. We're going to save it. So now that'll be present across the website on this contact us form. So that's great. And now we're going to go to the calendars and do the same thing. So click on calendars, click on calendar settings, click on demo call first. We'll do them both. And where it has an option, this is the event color, how it's going to pop up in Google Calendar. So we don't want to change that. We're going to go to customizations and we're going to change this right here, the primary color. We're just going to change this to that purple. Oh, you got to click on it. That's right. Click on it and then boom. There we go. Now that's purple. Beautiful. Beautimous. Save it. All right. Perfect. And now we're going to do the same thing on the onboarding calendar. Edit. We're going to go to customizations and we're going to click on the color here, copy it, delete it, boom, paste in that purple color. Great. Looks amazing. And now if we go to the website, we go to the website, refresh the contact page. It should be purple. Oh, there we go. Purple. Great. Go back to the home page and we can see this home button or this logo button should take you to the home page. Might just take a second. And see, boom, pop up, boom, purple there. That's great. And now let's check on the start free, going to the demo call. All of these start free buttons go to the demo call and boom, boom. Now the calendar is purple. Once again, this is just your hex color. So it's going to look good. It's going to be whatever your color is. So don't change it to purple, but change it to whatever your logo looks like, right? All right, so now we've done that. We got those brand colors there. All right, make sure you add the sub account. Yeah, usually the sub account, that works there. But the thing I needed to add here is just make sure the calendar is active. Make sure calendar is set to active and not draft. All right, so that's great. And so now the last thing really is just this personalized image on this pop-up. If we go back to the home page, when this pop-up, if somebody puts their name and phone number in and they want to send you a preview, we need to grab this Nifty Images calendar link. We need to grab this Nifty Image link to do it. So you can see here, Nifty Images, ux.niftyimages.com. You can sign up. It's like $25, I think. They might have a free trial. I don't know. But we can go find one of my old, it's loading here. You can find one of my old photos that I used to use all the time. Actually, that's going to take forever for me to scroll through and grab that. So I'm just going to grab this test one right here. And you want to grab this link. And so if you don't know how to make one, I have plenty of other training on how to do it, but I'll just go ahead and show you really quickly. So we go to dashboard. We're going to click on create an image, personalized image. We're going to go ahead and click select an image. You can upload whatever image you want to. You want to make sure it's under a megabyte. So you're gonna make sure it's under a megabyte. This was just a screenshot I took of somebody else's thumbnail. But once that loads in, kind of the trick here is just adding the merge tag. So if you take a selfie with like a computer or a screen in the background, you can just add a merge tag and just add it on top of there. But if you don't have that, you're gonna want to add a shape just to kind of so you can see the name on it, right? And that's Matt Shields, say what's up. And you can see how it's kind of hiding right here. It's because over here, the shape was on top of it. So make sure the name's on top. The settings, you just want to make sure that a super long name doesn't mess this up. And so I like to do Oswald and bold. It's just going to be easiest to read. And then you can make it really, really big. And we want to kind of expand it a little bit to fit this box. There we go, that's fine. And I'm going to save it, just testing site. Submit, and once you submit it, you're going to get this little link right here. So we want to grab everything up into the equal sign and before that quotation to grab that link. And now we're going to go back to the settings of our sub account. So we're in the sub account, we're going to go to settings, we're going to go to custom values. And we're going to go down to the personalized image custom value. So it's the 15 one right here, personalized image for pop-up form. edit custom value, and boom, you can see name. And now we're going to do this, curly bracket, contact, I have it added there, contact dot first underscore name, and curly bracket. So that's how you automatically add that name to the end of it, and I have it added right here. This is what you do. You just you add the contact first name at the end afterwards. And now what's going to happen is we go to the automation. I don't have a phone number active in this account, but when somebody fills out that form, what it's going to do, the contact us form or the pop-up form, it's going to create an opportunity in the pipeline. I just made a super simple dummy pipeline for y'all. And then it's going to send an SMS, and this just says, hey, their name, check out this personalized image. Imagine every one of your customers getting a similar image, but for review request. How are you requesting reviews right now? Just trying to start the conversation. Just trying to, you could add like a point wise or close bot on the back end here to kind of nurture them and try and book them into a call. But I'm just trying to start a conversation for y'all. And then you can see the custom value is added right here through the personalized image is added to the custom value right here. So I'll show you how to do that. Click on this tag, go down to custom values, website custom values. We're going to scroll down to this personalized image one, and boom, add it, save the action. It says Twilio is going to throw an error, but it shouldn't. You're good. And once again, I don't have a phone number in this account, so this is not going to work. But when we click on send preview, it's going to give them a sample of like, awesome, a preview is heading your way. I need to change that styling because that looks bad. But let me go to sites, and to do that, you just go to sites, forms. We're going to go to the pop-up form, edit, and we're going to click on the styling options on submit, message styling, and we're going to do background. We're just going to make the background clear. So turn the opacity all the way down. Perfect. And then make sure it's enter. That's good. And so now it should look better. So if we submit it again, go ahead and refresh this page and submit it again. Oh, there we go. Clay, boom, boom, send preview. Much better. Preview's heading your way. Awesome. And then you'll see that what that did, if we go back to your account, I just have a dummy pipeline set up for y'all on opportunities. It's going to go ahead and add me as an opportunity there. And then if we go to conversations, it's going to fail because once again, I did not have a phone number in this account, just a demo account, no phone number in here set up yet. If we go to conversations, we go to all, Clay, you can see it failed, but if we click on download the file, yada, yada, boom, look, Clay's right there. That's the personalized image it sent out. What's up, Matt, once again. All right, so we got the personalized image set up. That's great. Also, I have, just to tell you, in the automations, I just have very, very basic generic call reminders, follow-up reminders, if someone books a demo call or an onboarding call. I have another snapshot coming up called my no show, no more snapshot, kind of the automations and the reminders that we use to make sure that people actually show up to the calls and try and get like a 65, 70% show rate or a little bit better. And if someone books a demo call or onboarding call, just so you know, if you go to pipelines, it's going to, if you go to opportunities, it's going to automatically update them to demo booked, onboarding, or onboarding call booked. And then you can manually do it from free trial to paying client, or you can connect your Stripe account to where somebody signs up. You can automatically send that email of that contact into the free trial section. I can make a video on that if y'all want it. But wow, we've made a lot of progress. So let's go going live checklist, make sure we've done all this. So add your logo link to the custom values, proper size for navigation and footer. We did that. Change your brand colors. Boom, we did that. Connect your domain to the account. Did it. Connect your domain to the website. Did that as well. Add domain in the custom values. So that's just adding your domain to the custom value list. Did it. Use the Canva template to change the background image with the blur to your proper proper logo color, your brand color. Add the personalized image pop-up form. You can disable this if you don't have Nifty Images yet. For some reason you don't want to get it, you can just come into the website builder here, click on pop-up settings, and you can just turn it off. So you can just do like show pop-up, and you can just do none, and then that's going to turn off the Nifty Images pop-up. So you don't have to do that. Connect that if you don't want to right now. Complete the other custom values. So just adding like your phone number, your email, stuff like that. Edit the verbiage using ChatGPT. If you got the time, I recommend doing that. Just make it a little bit unique. But once again, by default, out of the box, it's going to work great. Add your pricing links to the table if you want to. You don't have to. by default, it's going to direct to the demo call where they can book, and you can figure out the pricing and the payment collection later. But just having that option is nice. And you can grab that payment link, and once again on the payment link, you can add the redirect. So on submit, we do new. After payment, you can don't show confirmation. You can just direct them to the onboarding call one. And to grab your onboarding call link, you can see right here. Here's the onboarding call. You just go to sites, websites, click on the review site. You'll see the onboarding call link here, and then you'll have this link right here. And then so you just add this link to that don't show in confirmation video right there. Don't show confirmation page and direct there. So then so they'd sign up, you get their card on file, and then boom, directs them to the onboarding call. Perfect. Let's see, remove the video sales letter or add a placeholder. So once again, I showed you how you can just remove that. If you don't have a video yet, that's fine. Or you can add a placeholder or just add one of those like genuine ones or the whiteboard explainer video, whatever you want to do there. Make sure you add your brand colors in the form and calendar. Add your logo favicon. We didn't cover that. So what you can do here is just go to media storage, grab your logo. You might want to edit your logo to make it look a little bit different, to make it look clear. A favicon is like just this up here. When you're seeing at the tab, you're looking at what it is. Go to sites, click on websites, click on review site template, go to settings, and you can see you can just put your favicon in there. Custom values don't work in there. I would have used it, but you can just put that there, and then it's going to pop up at the top. So there's that. And let's go last thing. Publish the site and click publish the site and click all the buttons. So what I mean by that is like, once again, just go to make sure if you've connected your domain, you need to go ahead and publish it so it's live. So we go ahead and just publish the site. Boom, great. Mine's already published. And then you can just click on this domain right here, or just type in reviewharvest.org or whatever your domain is, and just click all the buttons. So click on the logo and make sure that it directs to the homepage. See, it took to the homepage there. Click on the start free, make sure it directs you to the demo call. Click on the features, make sure it directs you to the features. Just all that stuff there. Contact page, make sure it directs you to the contact page. Home page down here, make sure it directs you back to the home page. Just do all this clicking around just to make sure everything's working great. And you should be good and ready to rock and roll. So a little bit longer than I expected, but once again, I wanted to be really thorough. I also have some frequently asked questions down here, so you can kind of go over these if you haven't. So like, how do I connect my domain? We walked through that. How do I edit the website and my brand colors? We walked through that. Do I lose my domain if I cancel Highlevel? So I recommend not purchasing your domain in Highlevel and purchasing it through something different like GoDaddy or Namecheap or Squarespace or something like that. And then it won't be affected if you do end up canceling your Highlevel account. But since we're building this website in Highlevel, if you cancel your Highlevel account, you're gonna lose your website, right? How do I use the Highlevel website editor? Well, this video should have showed you everything you need to know. I try to make it as simple as possible. And one thing I didn't really touch on much because it's just by default, it's going to be set up. But you can see here in mobile view, if you change the text and stuff, you might want to come in here and like edit the text. So when you edit the text size, you can see how it has this phone icon right there. That means you're just editing it on the mobile version. And so you can make sure things look good and everything works in the mobile version. And then also if you're on a computer, you can just like right click on inspect, and then change this dimensions to like an iPhone or whatever. And then you can just make sure everything looks good on an iPhone and stuff. It should be mobile optimized just off the jump, but you can see the emojis, the logo stack here. This is where you could like add, I guess I didn't mention this. This is where you can add businesses that you've worked with. And you can just remove that if you want to, but these are like businesses who have trusted you or whatever. So you can see out the box, it's working there. So that's good. And so if you have any other questions about Highlevel, there's about 10,000 Highlevel website editors specifically. There's about 10,000 videos on YouTube covering it. So you can play around in there. Happy to help on the coaching calls or something that you really niche that's specific to reviews. Happy to help out if I can. But for the most part, I'm not a high-level website editor whiz. Why is my navigation bar not working? Once again, your navigation bar is not going to work until you add your domain to the custom values. So if we go back and we go to the custom values, until your domain is added under the custom value domain, it is not going to show up. So that navigation bar is not going to work until you do that. But once you do, it'll be good.
So the purpose of actually creating these social media accounts is going to be to nurture the people who we are reaching out to or running ads to so that we look like a legitimate business, right? Let's imagine that we DM somebody on Instagram and then they come to our profile and they see that we have videos and content about reviews or about whatever service you're selling. It looks more legitimate, right? You look like a legit business. And so you can see on my profile here, I only have 280 followers. My bio is super outdated. This was like made forever ago, but I do have just some content going over like, hey, what's going on? Here's Review Harvest. Here's what we do. Here's some information about 1-star reviews, how to get your Google review link, just some really simple reels, not super highly edited or anything, but just some very simple stuff. Some case studies. So you can see like one of the first posts here was like, oh, here's all the case studies we've gotten people. And so, yeah, you can see just to show you're a legit business. I also had, like, when I first was getting started, I had like 15 or 1600 followers on my personal page. So I was like, well, I'm going to post this on personal page. I've gotten a lot more clients from my personal page than I have from my business page. And so I was cool just posting stuff here as well. I'd have like Google review guy as my bio and just owner at Review Harvest and have the link there. And so just some basic stuff there. But this is just to show that you're a legit business. My Facebook page, once again, it's not big at all. I just have like posted my reviews. These are like the auto review posts that come from Highlevel that we'll set up for our clients that you can also set up for yourself. You can see I just have a simple background and a logo at the bottom, and then it makes these review posts for me. So they're all automated and it's pretty cool. And then I also have just pinned kind of my testimonial videos up here at the top. And if you look at my personal Facebook page, it's the same situation. On my personal Facebook page, I have information like personal stuff, but I also pin like this video of me talking on a podcast about reviews, post video testimonials about reviews, just stuff like that. And so, yeah, just trying to show that if someone does show up on our account, we are a legit business that does this stuff. And so, really what you need to do is just have some sort of logo, have some sort of bio, make like 3 to 6 or 7 or 8 posts just to look legit, right? And as soon as you get case studies, add some of those case studies to your profiles just to kind of build that social proof and to get that going. But you can see I just would add before and after screenshots. Hey, a huge increase, a huge increase, a huge increase. And so just stuff like that. So when people do come to your page, if you're running ads or whatever, they're going to find you. So now let's dive into actually creating your accounts. All right now I want you to make your first 10 warm outreach attempts. So grab your phone, pull up your contacts, and start texting people. I don't care whether it's the middle of the night. You can use the send later feature. And if you don't have the send later feature, then you can just message some of your Instagram followers or some of your Facebook followers. Go there, click on the DMs, and start talking to people. I just am trying to force you to do this right now because I know when I said that make your first outreach attempts, your body might have tensed up a little bit, right? You'd be like, oh, later, and you made all these excuses and reasons why you shouldn't do that right now. Oh, I'm just getting stuff set up, or oh, I don't know how to do everything yet. Listen to me, just do it. This is going to be why 99% of people fail, because they're not willing to do the advertising. They're not willing to do the outreach. They're not willing to do the calls. They're not willing to run the ads. They're not willing to create enough awareness that it actually takes to grow their business. And so I want you to see that we've been doing all this stuff about setting up your business, setting up your Highlevel account, setting up payments, setting up all that stuff. And all of this is not making you any money. All you're doing is just kind of building the infrastructure of the business. This is going to be the first activity you do that is actually going to generate awareness for your business so that people know you exist. So I'd recommend starting a little bit of a conversation with these people. If you don't want to lose any social capital, just say, hey, how are things going? How's school? How's college? How's work? How's whatever? How's the family? Whatever you have to do. Make a conversation and then acknowledge what they say. Say, oh, that's so awesome. That little Jimmy is great at soccer, whatever. Compliment them on something they said, and go ahead and make sure that, and then go ahead and make your small ask. So it's the ACA framework. Alex Ramosi has a lot about this, and I have more details coming on that on day 4. But just go ahead and say, hey, I just want to let you know I'm doing this thing where I help local businesses get reviews. It helps them get more customers from Google, and I'm looking for some business owners to try it out for free. Who do you know that might be interested in this? So just a simple, short message, and not soliciting them for business, but saying, who do you know? Who do you know? So go ahead and do this to 10 people. Go ahead and make the conversation first. And then once they respond, hit them with a small ask. You'll get a lot higher response rate and it won't damage any social capital you have with them. All right, do it.
So let's dive into the first method. The first method is set up by default in your account. So the pro is that there's nothing you have to do to set it up. The con is that you're sharing the deliverability and the reputation of everyone else using Highlevel. So this is the mg.messenger.net. This is just going to come out of the box when you sign up with Highlevel if you start sending emails. And really, nobody should be using this. You're not going to get great deliverability. It doesn't look professional for you or for your clients. And when somebody signs up to Highlevel and they start spamming out hundreds of thousands of emails, that's going to affect the deliverability of your own email because you're sharing the reputation of all the other Highlevel users using this sending domain. So once again, the one pro is that it's easy to set up because there's nothing you have to do. But in terms of who should be using this, really nobody. Some of the methods that I'm going to show you take less than 10 minutes to set up and are going to give you exponentially better results. So let's dive into the second method, which is setting up a software-wide sending domain. So you can set this up once, and then anytime you get a new client or you create a new sub-account, that's the domain that sub-account is going to send emails from. So if you want to set this up, you want to go to your agency view, you go to settings, you go to email services right here. And then if you haven't added one yet, this is not going to pop up and it's going to say create a dedicated domain. And so you just click on dedicated domain right here or click on that pop-up. And then what we want to do is we want to go ahead and add a domain. All right, and so after you click on add domain, it's going to prompt you to put your domain in here, and then we're going to add these DNS records into your DNS registrar. So for this video, I'm going to use this branchbid.com. I purchased this domain in GoDaddy, and we're going to go to the DNS settings in GoDaddy right here, and we'll be able to add these records manually, or depending on where you purchased your domain from, like Namecheap, GoDaddy, Cloudflare, sometimes Highlevel will be able to automatically add these DNS records for you. So if you purchase it from GoDaddy and Cloudflare, I'm pretty sure it'll automatically add these DNS records, but I'll also show you how to add them manually so that if your DNS registrar is not supported, you can add them pretty easily. And so one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to put your root domain here in the domain name. You don't want to have reviewharvest.com or branchbid.com as the default sending domain for all your clients. Because let's say somebody gets a hold of your software and they send out 100,000 emails and many of them are marked as spam because they're all going to cold people that have no idea who you are. Then that can affect your main website, your main domain. You can get blacklisted, so you don't want to do that. You want to set this up on a subdomain, meaning something in front of your root domain, so that it doesn't necessarily affect that reputation as much. So one thing you can do is you can just add the first letter, so a b.branchbid.com. This kind of blends in. It doesn't really look different. This is something that a lot of people do. It kind of blends into that first letter, so you can barely even tell. Another thing you could do is you could add, say, email.branchbid.com. Once again, we're just doing this to protect your root domain so that if people are marking it as spam, you don't get blacklisted. Because if your root domain gets messed up with a bunch of spam complaints, that can mess up your website and a bunch of other things. And so once you decide the subdomain you want to use, whether it's email or the first letter, you want to click on add and verify. And then you'll have an option to add these records manually, or you can click on continue. And depending on where you purchase that domain, it might automatically add these DNS records for you. So you can see I purchased this on GoDaddy, so it's going to click on Authorize Domain. It's going to take me to GoDaddy and say, do you want Lead Connector to make these changes? Lead Connector is just the gray labeled version of Highlevel. And so you can click on Connect, and now it's going to automatically add all those DNS records to GoDaddy. But I'm also going to show you how to do this manually. So you can see when it first loads in here, they're probably not all going to be verified right away. It's kind of finicky. You have to play around with it. Normally you have to wait 5 to 10 minutes to make sure they're all verified. But I'll go ahead and show you how to add all these manually just in case your DNS registrar is not supported. So what you want to do is you want to see what type of record it is and you want to copy this host name. So this is going to be a TXT record. We're going to go to your domain provider. We're going to click on add a new record. We're going to do a TXT record and we're going to paste that host name right here in the name. And then we're going to grab this value here, copy this, and we're going to go ahead and paste this in the value. And then you can just leave the TTL as half an hour or whatever it is. So the second record is also a TXT record. You can see the host name is just email, and here's the value. So we want to copy this value. We want to add a TXT record. The host name is just email. We're going to paste in this value, and there we go. We're going to add another record now. Now we're going to add a CNAME. It's just email.email. It's a little bit confusing because the subdomain is email, so it adds that there twice. But let's say that you are using just the first letter. It would be b.email or email.b. So we're going to grab this mailgun.org here. We're going to create a CNAME. The name is just email.email. We're going to paste this value in here. And then we're going to go back and we're going to see the next one. So the next one is an MX record. So it's just going to be email. The priority is going to be 10 and it's going to be MXA. So we want to go ahead and add another record. We're going to choose MX record. It's just going to be email here. The priority is going to be 10 and we're going to paste that value in here. And then we can go ahead and add another value here. It's going to be 10 as well. And this next one's going to be MXB. So just mxb.mailgun.org, paste that in there. So the last one here is just your DMARC record. So this is a TXT record and it's not necessarily required. So I don't think that the high-level integration with your DNS registrar adds it automatically. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and add this as well. So we're going to add another one. It's going to be a TXT record. We're going to copy this _dmarc.email. We're going to paste that in the name. And then we're going to grab this value and v equals dmarc p1. We're going to paste that in the value. And honestly, I can't explain to you what DMARC exactly is. I just know how to set it up. But if you ask ChatGPT to explain DMARC to you like you're a golden retriever, here's what it says. Imagine you have a special sticker on your letters that shows this letter is really from me. DMARC is that sticker for emails. It tells the computer that if this email doesn't have my special sticker, it may be fake. So be careful. This way, everyone knows which emails are real and friendly ones, or which ones could be tricked from bad guys. So ChatGPT is talking to us like we're a golden retriever, so that makes it pretty simple to understand. This is just a unique record that says, is this email actually from the person that it's saying it's from? And so I'm going to delete all of these other records because they're added automatically because GoDaddy is supported. But we're going to click on save here. And then it's going to update. And if we go back and we see we can verify these records to make sure they're good, you can see it takes us back to this page and it says SSL still pending. So you kind of have to play around with it. You might have to go back here and click on verify now again, and then we'll see if they're all green and verified now. So you can see it's not. Let's just click on verify again. And then eventually, after you play around with it for a bit, all these records should be added automatically and you'll be good to go. And so I just refresh the page, click on verify again. Now we can see SSL is issued, so we're good to go. We can also click on here again and you can just verify. You just make sure that all of these records have this little verified field. Once again, it's a little bit finicky, so we'll click on verify again and we're good to go. Everything is in the green. So now if you want to make this your default sending domain for all your new sub accounts or all your new clients, you just click on this checkbox right here. And anytime you create a new sub account and get a new client, this is going to be the domain that they're sending their emails from. And so the pros of using this method is that now we're not using the default messenger.net and we have our own sending domain, so we don't have to worry about everyone else on Highlevel spamming people and sharing their reputation. Also, it's a super easy one-time setup. You just add this once, you add it as the default, and now all your clients have this default sending domain. One of the cons for this method, though, is that now all of your clients are going to be sharing that same subdomain. And so let's say you have a bad client that adds 100,000 emails from people they don't know. They send out a bunch of emails and they get a bunch of stuff marked as spam. That's going to affect all your other sub accounts and all your other clients, their sending reputation. And so this is a great option to use if you're really the one in their sub accounts controlling all the emails you're sending out and they're not logging in and just spamming a bunch of emails out. And so if we go back to the SMTP service and we click on location settings, you can see a lot of these are just, they don't have any sending domain here because they're just using that default domain. So most of our clients are just using that default domain, the r.reviewers.com that we use. In terms of what types of businesses should use this software-wide sending domain method, I would recommend probably those lower ticket GoHighLevel SaaS companies that don't want to have to do another step in the onboarding process every time they onboard somebody. And once again, the SaaS companies that don't necessarily have their clients logging in and sending out a bunch of emails. At the beginning of the video, I told you the number one reason why people in my community land in spam. And the reason is they don't have consistency between their from email and the sending domain. And so what I mean by that is if you go into a sub account and you click on settings, and then we go to email services, it's going to show us the dedicated sending domain for this sub account. So you see in this sub account, it's r.reviewharvest.com. So what that means is when you go into a workflow and you're sending an email out or you're doing it in campaigns, when we go to create an email action, we need to make sure that this from email does not contain, clay, test.com. This test.com is not consistent with that r.reviewharvest.com. And so when we send out emails for our clients that are using our default sending domain, r.reviewharvest.com, you need to make sure that whatever's after the @ symbol here is consistent with the actual sending domain of the sub account. And so when you send this email out, it could show up as spam depending on what the DMARC records are on their apple.com or whatever they're using after that @ sign. And so you can see here's just an example email that we're sending out for one of our clients. You can see it's Spencer r.reviewharvest.com. And so we're using his name. The from name is from their business name, but the actual domain that it's sending from is r.reviewhours.com. So we need to make sure whatever's after the @ symbol here is r.reviewhours.com and consistent with that sending domain. So 90% of the time I see people landing in spam in my community, or if we're testing emails for our clients and they're landing in spam, 99% of the time that's the issue. So the third option is setting up a unique subdomain for every single client on your main domain. And so if you come into a client sub account, you go to settings, you go to email services right here. You can see now we can add a dedicated domain for this particular client. So let's click on dedicated domain. Let's click on add domain. And we can add, for example, the client's name as the subdomain. So joesplumbing.branchbid.com. And so now we can click on add and verify, and this is setting up a unique subdomain for this client. So what this is going to do is this is kind of silo each one of our clients. So if we have one client that's sending out a bunch of emails and they're getting lots of spam complaints, it's not necessarily going to affect Joe's Plumbing as much because he has his own sending subdomain. And you can see it's the same exact process as before for setting up at the agency view. So if we click on continue, it's going to prompt me to connect GoDaddy or whatever your DNS registrar is. And if it's not supported, you can add those records manually. So let's click on authorize domain. It's going to take me to GoDaddy. It said, do you want lead connector to do this? We click on connect, and then it's going to automatically add all these records. Once again, though, it's not going to add the DMARC record automatically. So you want to copy this and you want to add another TXT record to your DNS settings. So we're going to do a TXT record. We're going to paste this underscore DMARC. We're going to copy this value. We're going to paste it here, and we're going to save. And so the process of adding all of these records is the same as before. You just add the specific record to your DNS, and then you just want to click on verify domain until it is propagated. It might take 5 to 10 minutes, but you can see I just tried to verify it. It said SSL is pending. Let's click on verify now and try it again. And boom, everything's good to go and in the green. So we can verify the domain, and you can see it's a little finicky. So it said domain not verified. So we'll refresh this page and try it again. And so now it's all in the green. We'll verify the domain and you're good to go. So now this client has their own sending subdomain, which is going to silo them and protect them from your other clients messing stuff up. This option can work great for GoHighLevel SaaS companies that don't mind that one extra step on the onboarding. You can see that just took maybe 5 minutes. Or this could work great for maybe lower ticket marketing agencies that don't want to have to get access to their client's domain or the DNS registrar and add the records themselves or get them to do it on an onboarding call. Which leads us to the fourth way, which is setting up your client's domain as a sending domain. And so this is probably the hardest thing to do in terms of onboarding, because you're going to have to either get them to add you to their DNS so you can add the records themselves. You're going to have to do it on an onboarding call. They might not have their login to there. They might forget it. And it's probably going to take 10 to 15 minutes on that call to get it set up properly. The easiest way to do this would just be them adding you to their DNS registrar. But the problem you might run into is that they might not want to do that. They might not want you to have access to their domain and stuff like that. Or even if they do, they might have a 2-factor authentication. So most time in my experience, it's just been easiest to do it on the onboarding call and just knock it out. But the pros of this is now they have consistency in their brand and all their emails are sending out. And this might be a great thing for a client that it's really, really important that these emails get delivered and seen. And if those emails play a major role in their marketing strategy. And now any other emails going out from your high-level account are going to be completely isolated from this client that is using their own domain for their sending domain for their emails. So you can see in the example I showed you earlier, it could be like Spencer and then at pro1painters.com. And then this would be coming from pro1painters.com. So it'd be lots of consistency there. But once again, most of the time people are just looking at the email. They're not actually looking in here, see where it's sending and stuff like that. So once again, if you're a higher ticket marketing agency, this might make sense to take the time to set it up once so they have brand consistency across their emails. So that covers the technical side of the setup to make sure you're getting delivered. But there's also another side of it, which is actually what is the content that is in your email that makes sure it lands in the inbox. It doesn't go to spam or doesn't go to promotions and stuff like that. And a lot of that comes down to the actual words and links and photos and stuff that are in your email. And so the best thing to always do is just use mailmeteor.com, their little spam checker tool, where you can paste your email copy in here and see if they think it's showing up as spam or not. So you can see this is just an example they have. They have like guaranteed, financial, privately owned funds. These are all kind of shady words that they're saying. And so you can go ahead and paste your email copy in here and change it to make sure that like Gmail, Outlook, all those tools aren't detecting this as spam. A great rule of thumb here is just to keep it plain text. Don't include spammy words like free or $signs or guaranteed, stuff like that. And try not to include links unless it's absolutely necessary. Also, if you add a bunch of images to the email copy, there's a good chance that it's going to show up in their promotions folder. But over time, as you specifically send out emails to this list, the people that are opening your emails and engaging with your emails, you'll be able to get away with more, sending more photos, more links and stuff like that, and it not landing in spam. So lastly, I was going to tell you what I use to support my 200 active SaaS customers, and also what I use personally for Review Harvest for our marketing from our sub account to make sure our emails get delivered. So what we do for our SaaS customers is we use r.reviewharvest.com, kind of the default software-wide sending domain. The main reason being is we don't have any clients logging in and uploading hundreds of thousands of emails and sending out a bunch of emails. We're normally the ones managing when the emails go out and who they're going out to. So we have lots of control over that. So we know that there's not going to be one bad apple in our clients that are going to ruin our reputation for all of our other clients. And when it comes to our sub account in Highlevel that we do our marketing from, so like our Review Harvest sub account, we have a separate sending domain for this account so that we are making sure that we're siloed from even our clients to make sure that our marketing emails get delivered and seen. So in this case, we just use email.reviewharvest.com for all of our marketing and all of our promotions inside our internal sub account.
So something that you will need to get your phone numbers approved, whether you're doing A2P, TextGrid, or anything like that, you're going to need a privacy policy and you're going to need terms and conditions. Now, you can go to ChatGPT and create something, not legal advice, obviously not legal advice. You can do that and spin something up. That's totally fine. You could obviously hire a lawyer to help you out with that stuff. Or what I do is I use a platform called Termly. It's $15 a month. Basically what it does is it gives you like 60 questions for your privacy policy and for your terms and conditions, and you answer those questions, and then based off your answers to those questions, it gives you the updated privacy policy and terms and conditions, and it automatically updates your privacy policy and your terms and conditions as laws change. And so what they do is they embed it. You can embed it onto your site under the privacy policy and terms and conditions. You can see these are my examples for Review Harvest. You can embed it on your site via a widget. And so whenever stuff changes in laws, they can just automatically change it on your site. So you're always up to date, and they have a process where you can announce that you've changed your terms and conditions to everybody that's whatever on your list and just stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely recommend Termly. It's like $15 a month. It's kind of a no-brainer. Or you can just go ChatGPT and use the free version, not legal advice, but you can do it. And that's what I did when I got started. So just saying.
So I broke them down into 3 main buckets. I'm going to go into each bucket, the pros and cons of each one of them. And then also at the end, I'm going to break down what's going to be the best one for you. If you don't know who I am, my name is Clay Lawrence, owner of ReviewHarvest.com. I make a little bit over $20,000 every month just helping local business owners get Google reviews and white labeling Highlevel to do that. So you can see here, not even 3 months into the year, we've made $68,000 just from automating the process of requesting reviews for local business owners. And if you don't believe me, that's okay. Feel free to check out reviewharvest.com. You can see all of our testimonials, all the proof that we are a real business that does this. So obviously for requesting reviews from customers, text messaging is super important. Email is great, but we get about 3 or 4 times as many reviews from the text than we do as emails. Honestly, depending on the list, sometimes it's 10 times the amount of reviews from the text. So this phone number issue has been a huge issue for us. So before I dive into the 3 buckets and what might be the best option for you, I want to rewind all the way back to the end of 2023 when I was first getting started with this business. Back in 2023, it was like the Wild West. You could purchase a local number or a toll-free number, and you could start sending review requests day one. You don't have to get verified, no brand registration, no campaign registration, no toll-free verification. You didn't have to do any of that stuff. And then obviously in 2024, they made it to where local numbers and toll-free numbers now, you have to get approved before you can send texts. So really, back in the day, it was like the Wild West, but the good news is that this should keep texting as that dominant channel that we actually are able to reach people and get their attention and get them to take action. Email, you might get 30-40% open rate if you're doing pretty good, but text messaging, people still pay attention to it. So in the long run, it's going to be good that people aren't getting spammed constantly because they're making it harder to get these messages sent out. But in the short term for now, it really sucks. It's hard to adjust the way we do things to get these phone numbers. So how do we do it? So the tricky part with Highlevel is that people use Highlevel for so many different things, right? You might have an agency where you do $3,000 a month retainers. You might have a SaaS where you charge $99 a month for a bunch of features and stuff like that. And so depending on what you're doing, one of these is going to make a lot more sense. But here's kind of the 3 main buckets they fall under. Number 1, the most expensive route is this trend of sending blue messages, right? Sending iMessages. And so there's lots of companies doing this now, Send Blue, Hi Blue, all these other blue stuff, Link, whatever. And it is pretty expensive for the most part. And so I'll dive into that here. The second bucket is CRM cards. So the most popular one here is My CRM Sim. They seem to be the best out of all those players there. And basically what you're doing is you're getting an Android phone, you're getting a SIM card and like a cheap phone plan, and then you're plugging it into a Highlevel sub account, and technically you have unlimited messaging. It just depends on what SIM card you have and really like how high volume you're sending. And then the third thing is stuff that requires A2P 10DLC compliance for the local numbers. And then also this goes into toll-free verification as well. Loop these in together because you have to do some sort of verification for these routes. So first, let's dive into the iMessages, the Send Blue, all this little trend going on. So the great thing about it is there's no ATP verification required. So you're doing it on like actual iPhones. A lot of these companies have actual iPhones. Some of them don't really. The bad news is it's pretty expensive. So it's literally like anywhere from $200 to like $1,000 per line. It can be super expensive, and also you'll have a limited number of contacts that you can message per day, because since you're going through iOS wants the messaging to seem normal as if you were a human, right? Not actually you're blasting automated messages and stuff like that. And so that's really difficult. You have to play by different rules. Like for example, for us, when we're requesting reviews, it wouldn't really work well because we send out the link in the very first message that we send to a contact, right? And so when you do that on iOS, what it does is it really burns the phone number's reputation, and it's not kind of best practice. It kind of would mess up the phone number. And so there's certain things that you kind of have to do differently when you're doing it through iOS because they play by different rules. The great thing about the Apple one is that there's actually no phone purchase necessary. So I haven't heard of any ones that are sending iMessages that require you to purchase an iPhone and plug it into your Highlevel sub account. There might be one, but I haven't heard of one. The really cool thing is that it is kind of incredible. So when it works, it's really cool. So check this out. If we do hey, and we can send this with like confetti or loud or a slam or something like that. So it could really get the attention of, say your leads or something. So if we wait for this to come through here in a second, when it comes through, it's gonna say, hey, and it's gonna bam. So let's check it out. You see a lot different than just a boring old green message that might have reply stop to opt out and all that stuff, right? It's a lot cooler. And so this really works well. Like the iPhone stuff, I think works well when you're doing like higher retainers, you're doing lots of lead follow-up. These are like higher end clients or expensive stuff. You're not just selling $20, $50, $100 stuff. This might make a lot of sense because you're probably gonna deal with a lot of iPhone users if you are selling high ticket stuff. And so you can see you can do confetti, you can do the slam effect. So it's really cool to get the attention of your prospects and kind of stand out from everyone else that's just doing the green iMessage follow-up stuff. And what's even cooler is they have the option to send native voice memos. And so the difficult thing is, once again, iOS is constantly changing stuff. So now if I haven't responded here, if you do try to send a voice memo before you've engaged with the contact, it's gonna pop up as like some weird file. It doesn't like look native like a voice memo does. But once you've had a conversation, then you can start sending voice memos natively, which is actually insane. And you can even use AI in 11 Labs to send an AI voice message. So the fifth thing is that it can be a little bit buggy and hard to use. So the integration into Highlevel isn't necessarily complex. I've had some issues getting it connected, but once it's connected, it works fine. But sometimes when you're using it, it just like takes a long time for stuff to send. It's not quite as buttery as working with just the native phone numbers in Highlevel once you get them A2P approved and stuff like that. And I really don't think this is for high volume and lower ticket stuff because, like, for example, for us with Review Harvest, it really doesn't make sense. When we're sending out these review requests, we want to include the link in that first one. We're going to have to contact a lot of people. We're not charging $500, $1,000, $2,000 a month. So there's no way we can afford $200 per line per client because you cannot share these lines, right? You can't use one line and share it across 10 sub accounts unless technically you're doing the master sending account, which I have another video about that if you want to, but I just don't think it makes a lot of sense to do it that way. So the second thing is these Android phones and the SIM cards and using something like My CRM Sim or one of these providers that allows you to integrate an Android into one of your Highlevel sub accounts. So the great thing about this is no A2P verifications required. So if I have people in my community that are like, hey, I got a client that signed up, they're ready to get reviews, like I want to get them reviews today. The only really way to do that is like go to Walmart, get a SIM card, get a $100 Android phone, and start sending out text right away. That's really the only way to do it, because you have to, everything else has to be verified. And so that's one thing that's really nice about that. It's quick, you can get it set up pretty fast. It integrates with Highlevel very seamlessly. Difficult thing, same thing with the Apple here, there's no calls. So you can't do the calling in Highlevel. You can do the calls from the phone, the Android phone. I think you might be able to forward the line for if you're using like SendBlue or something like that. I'm not sure, but same thing here, like no calls in Highlevel. The calls aren't gonna come through in your Highlevel dashboard. The thing that is nice is that this is actually pretty affordable. So based on your area, like if you are overseas, if you are not in the US where Twilio is relatively inexpensive and text messaging is inexpensive, if you're overseas in Australia or if you are in, across the world, this might be the best bet for you because you can just go get a local phone plan or whatever, and it's going to be more reasonably priced than like 12 cents per SMS or something ridiculous, right? And so that is something that's very nice about this. The only thing that's kind of not great is you need to get an Android phone. And so if you don't have an Android phone, then you need to go buy one. And then if you do have an Android phone, I don't know what that looks like if you're using it on the same exact phone that you're normally using. I'll talk about this more later, but I think that this Android phone thing makes a lot of sense if you are like an agency that might do higher ticket stuff and you want to get them a verified phone number through Highlevel, like an A2P verified phone number, but you want to start sending messages or review requests or database reactivation right away, like you want to start sending text messages day one to get them some great results, then I think what a lot of people are doing is they're using these SIM cards for My CRM SIM, or they're using whatever. They're using it as the bridge until they can get a verified phone number. So it's like they might have 5 or 10 phones, and when they're getting new clients, they have their very, very new clients on these plans, and they're sending out review requests right away or database reactivation campaigns right away. And then as soon as the phone number is verified, they can transfer those off to a different sub account to their new client. So kind of using it as the bridge between new client and then a verified phone number. All right, the last one, and this is the doozy, this is the A2P 10DLC, just stands for application to person, 10-digit long code. I think that's what it is. And so I'm gonna kind of group, like I said, I'm gonna group toll-free numbers into here because you have to get them verified, but let's kind of go over your options. So your option number one is like directly through Highlevel. So that's like lead connector is LC phone is powered by Twilio. It's all in Highlevel native, so it's pretty much all the same thing. And so your option is you can go through here, you can jump through the hoops Highlevel makes you do to get it verified, like go through the process, submit it, whatever. And then you can do SMS and calling through Highlevel natively. So it's very buttery, very smooth. You just have to go through this process of getting it verified, which can be a pain, right? So I mean, it's really not that bad to get an A2P number approved, a local number approved, when you're an agency that might be charging $500, $1,000 a month. But the difficult thing is when you're something like me that charges $100 a month or $200 a month or $300 a month, it's really difficult, and we need to start sending review requests right away. And so how are we supposed to have a phone number ready to rock and roll to get them review requests on day one that is also affordable, it also integrates with Highlevel, and it's easy to use? So the second option is you can go outside of Highlevel, so you don't have to use Twilio, you don't have to use LC Phone. The difficult thing with Twilio is that Twilio is like pretty much the most expensive. It's like 0.8 cents for an SMS plus the carrier fee. SMS messages are 2 cents. Something like TextGrid and Signal House, you're going to be saving 50%, 60% of your costs just using TextGrid or Signal House because they're so much cheaper than what Twilio is. And so if you bypass kind of all the stuff that Highlevel has you go through, you still have to get verified. Like, I mean, Highlevel is honestly just making it pretty easy for you to get it verified. So I say bypass, like they're making you do harder stuff than normal. They're really not. They're just making it natively in there, and you kind of have to deal with Highlevel throughout the process. In my experience, the great thing with TextGrid and Signal House is we're a lot closer to the source. And so these people, when you actually contact support, they know exactly what to say. And and Signal House even has a relationship with the DCAs, which I don't even know what that means. It just means that they're closer to like the SMS aggregators, right? They have a better relationship and stuff. And so actually when you submit your verification, they review it first and are like, hey, this is gonna get approved or not. And then once they're like, hey, it's gonna get approved, they kick it off. But if they're like, hey, it's not gonna get approved, they kick it back and tell you what it changed. And so I think just support here is so much better. If you're struggling to get A2P approved, support here is so much better. And the great thing about TextGrid and why I think it's gonna be the best route for a lot of people doing like low ticket SaaS stuff through Highlevel is that one, it natively integrates with Highlevel. And so when I say native integration, like it's a couple clicks and it's pretty easy, and it can be your custom SMS provider, and it's super simple and it's way cheaper. And the great thing about TextGrid and Signal House is that you can get your branding campaign registered once, and then you can get 49 numbers, and you can attach those numbers to each number to a different sub account. So the tricky thing about when you're going directly through Highlevel and Twilio is like with LC Phone is that you need to get verified independently in each sub account. So you can't use that brand and campaign registration across multiple sub accounts, right? And so when you're getting brand and campaign registered for like all your clients and you're doing it on your behalf, and so when you do get a brand and a campaign registered under your information, so example like us registering Review Harvest and getting campaign and brand approved there are some different things that you have to comply with. Because if we're sending text on behalf of our clients, but the campaign is registered to Review Harvest, there are certain things you have to do differently to make sure that you're still compliant, like saying powered by Review Harvest or something somewhere, just letting people know. And so that's, you can be as compliant as you want. It's not going to force you to do that, but that's just something to keep in mind. And Signal House doesn't quite have an integration with Highlevel yet, but they're working on it. But once you do get integrated, which the integration process is pretty seamless, then you can do SMS through Highlevel, and it's do through the workflows, and it's pretty buttery. And so the last way is you can go to like Telnix or Plivo, which are similar to Twilio. They're like aggregators with the carriers. They have the relationships so they can send the messages and stuff like that. And then you can go to them, and then you can use something like SMS It that has like a gateway where you can plug in. And basically, SMS It is going to be the thing that's going to allow you to integrate your Telnix number or your Plivo number with Highlevel. This is adding an extra layer there, so it's not the best. But if for some reason you want to use one of these carriers or you need to use like one of these business Telnix or Plivo, then that is an option. Don't use Telnix if you do have anything to do with marketing. They're not going to get it approved. Had to learn that the hard way. All right, so now for the meat and potatoes. Now here's the question, what's the best for you? So I've kind of broken it down into what your business is, right? If you're an agency or if you're like a low ticket SaaS through Highlevel, it's really going to be different. And also it depends on your location, right? I think that if you are in a country where Twilio expenses or like SMS and MMS expenses are crazy high, like 15, 20 cents per message, I think that you really need to go the My CRM SIM route. And so I honestly think that probably the most affordable way would be to go My CRM SIM, have like 10 different master sending accounts. So I have a video on how to create a master sending account. That's basically where you're sending all your text messages from like 20 different sub accounts into one sub account. And so you have like one sub account that has phone numbers and you just send all the information in there. So I think honestly, if you're overseas, you need to do this at a decent cost, then I would say My CRM SIM that's just the best company that I have worked with and talked to, and they seem like kind of the top dog in there. There's a million other SIM cards people that allow you to, I don't even know what that's called, SMS gateway, whatever, I don't know. But they allow you to connect an Android phone to a sub account to do the sending. That's all it is. And so honestly, the best way if you're in a country that's really expensive is to do My CRM SIM, get like 10 different master sending accounts, and then you could send 100, 200 clients through those 10 sub accounts if you just split it up properly. Or if you're in a country where it's really expensive, you could find another provider that gives you SMS and MMS at a better rate, or you could obviously use WhatsApp. WhatsApp kind of circumvents this whole process if people use WhatsApp in your country. But you could find another provider like a Twilio, TextGrid, Signal House, whatever, that kind of focuses in your area, and then you could use a gateway to, I think it's a gateway, that's what it's called, a gateway. You could use one of these like SMS It, or there's a couple other ones that will allow you to connect it to Highlevel, or will allow you to send that SMS through a webhook in the action. And so you have options there, you're just gonna have to get creative. But if you're in the US, I think that if you need calling, if calling is required, then like you probably could just use like My CRM SIM as a bridge until you get verified through Highlevel. And this is once again, this is only if you want to start doing stuff for your clients day one. If you're okay waiting a week to get an A2P number approved for them, that's fine. But if you like need to start sending stuff day one and calling is going to be required eventually, I would do My CRM SIM, because you can still answer the phone on the Android and stuff. I would do My CRM SIM and as the bridge until you get a local number verified through their sub account. And that would kind of make sense, the most sense financially, if you're charging like over $500 a month per client. If you're charging like under $500 a month and you're like a SaaS and like no calling is really required, then I would recommend TextGrid all day long. You can get one campaign, they have an integration into Highlevel, one campaign, and then you can use that campaign for 49 different clients. It's in 49 different numbers. So that means that you get verified once, and then you can use that across multiple different sub accounts. Once again, when you're doing it that way, there's a little bit different legality of like staying compliant and stuff when it's all registered under your campaign, but it still just allows you to send it. You can be as compliant as you want or as not compliant as you want, right? And then if you are doing, let's say $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month retainers, and you're doing a lot of the lead follow-up, then I think the iPhone route would be sick and probably be well worth it. I think that lead follow-up for the next year or two, the iPhone route is still gonna make a lot of sense. They are improving like RCS messaging, which is like rich context segments through Twilio and through these other SMS providers, so that now we're gonna be able to have more dynamic messaging, more engaging messaging than just how it is right now, where you just like send SMS. You don't have any options to add like features or stuff like that to it. So yeah, that's a quick breakdown over kind of all your phone number and messaging options through Highlevel. If you live in a WhatsApp dominated country, you can just use WhatsApp, that's great. But if you need to send SMS, these are kind of your options. Spent way too much money and way too much time going into all this stuff. So I hope it saves you a little bit of time understanding how this works.
All right, so for your own sub account in Highlevel, like say your business name here, not your client sub accounts, but for your own sub account, you're going to want to purchase a local number natively through Highlevel using LC Phone and get it approved. This is just the easiest way to make calling work, because TextGrid and a lot of those other SMS services don't have native calling, where when you go to like the inbox, you won't be able to see like the contact history of somebody calling through the inbox settings here. And so you're going to want to probably purchase it just within your Highlevel account. And so if we go to settings of a sub account, and then we go to phone numbers, you just want to go ahead and purchase a local number. So we can click on add number, add phone number. And then you probably just for your own business, you probably just want to make sure it's a local number and it's in your own area or whatever. So you can just scroll around and you can type in your, you can filter here by your area code. And then anyways, you can just purchase it. And from there, you can proceed to buy. And so once we buy this, what we need to do now is we need to get campaign and brand registered. So number of purchase is successful. We need to do A2P registration. So let's click on register for A2P. So it's important to note that there's two types of verifications that we need to start sending messages through A2P. So we have the brand registration, and then we have the campaign registration. And to be honest, the brand registration is very easy unless you're a brand new business. So if you are a brand new business, what you're probably going to have to do is reach out to Highlevel support and submit your SS4 or whatever, your 575, whatever it's called, CP 575 or something. Let me see. CP 575 form. Yeah, just something like this to verify that you're a business, because it's probably not in the IRS database yet, and that's normally where Twilio is trying to find it, right? So yeah, something like this where you can see your business, your EIN, all that stuff. And so if you don't have that yet, you're going to have to reach out to Highlevel support, and you're going to have to submit that to them. They might charge you a one-time fee for that, but it'll be a lot quicker than having to wait 60 days or 90 days or however long it takes for the IRS to log that you are officially a business role. So if you click on start registering now, you can see this is going to start taking us through the registration process. And so I think this is the brand. We're about to get to the business details. Then we're going to do brand registration and then campaign registration. So is this business entity you're registering located in the US or Canada? And so if you're trying to serve people in the US or Canada and you want to get a business in America, register a business in America, there's this platform called Doula. Doula is like kind of made for people to create businesses in America without being in America. And so if that's something you're interested in, you can do that. I've got that linked in another video. But anyways, so click on continue. And we will put in the legal business name. So this is one, you want this to be exactly as listed on your CP 575. So meaning like the casing is the same. If there's an Inc. or LLC, all that stuff needs to be added there as well. So this needs to be exactly as that is. Let's just say ABC Business. This probably kept business LLC, and then business type. If it's an LLC or whatever your business type is here, put that there, and then you want your EIN number. So that's that 9-digit code that's on your CP 575 or whatever. You can find that from whatever you registered your LLC with and get that number. So you add that there. And then business industry, you can just select whatever's closest here. I'd probably do like online is probably the best. And then business email, add your business email here and add your website URL. And you want to make sure this is not a Highlevel branded URL. You want to make sure it's like your legit US URL. And business email here. If you have your own email, like with your logo, your domain on it at the end, that would be great, but I don't think it's required. All right, next you want to put in your business address. Once again, you want to make sure this matches directly what's on the CP75 form, 575 form. This is important because if it's not going to match, they're just going to immediately deny it. The brand settings and stuff is based off of all your business details. This is a lot quicker turnaround time than the campaign stuff, but you want to make sure that you have all the proper information that's consistent with your business details here. All right, authorized representative. Once again, you want to make sure that this is your name or whatever your authorized representative is. And so if you went through a service like Zen Business or whatever and you decided to get an authorized representative, that's fine. If not, you just want to make sure that this information is consistent with your information. And so here in this phone number, put your personal phone number. Don't put a Highlevel or a Twilio phone number here. Make sure it's like a mobile phone number. Your email address, this is the one that they can contact you at. It's listed on your CP575 or your business settings. I honestly don't know if the email address is on there, but I just always use the one that I used when I created my LLC. So that's been seeming to work for me. And then obviously your name, etc. And you can just do CEO, whatever you want to do here. For 99% of us, the low volume is going to be fine. 6,000 segments a day. I think this is also mixed use as well, meaning that we can use it for promotional or transactional or customer care or whatever. High volume. I mean, if you've got a massive client, maybe you need high volume, but for the most part, 99% of us can just use the low volume. And you can see here, it's going to charge a one-time $24 charge, and an additional $3 for fast track is included, which helps getting the campaign approved and working in 3 days. The campaign fee will be charged in the case of campaign failures. It will also be charged in the case of campaign failures and resubmissions. Additional campaign fee of up to $12 per month to apply in accordance with TCR. So you should just keep track of I'll show you how to see how much you're getting charged for this stuff. But that is that's kind of the going rate. So there's not much you can do about it unless you wanted to get off of Highlevel, because once again, TextGrid, all those other places, they're cheaper, but they just don't integrate calling into Highlevel. So that's tough. Okay, and so for use case and description here, once again, this is your phone number, your brand, your campaign. And so what you want to put here is you just want to be very descriptive of hey, be descriptive, your specific use case, and these are this phone number you're using for lead follow-up, for calling leads and stuff like that. And so some examples of what that would be is you go to here, they have, see an example, this campaign sends appointment information, confirmation. This is probably fine for most of us when we're doing this on our own account, right? And so you can just copy this and you can paste it in there. In terms of sample message, this is probably something you can do, honestly, what their examples are here, and maybe you could add some specific ones hey, some of your lead follow-up verbiage. If you already have some of that, you can add some of that in here. And then just check whether it's going to include an embeddable link and a phone number and stuff like that. Most of ours don't include phone numbers, just for me, but if they include a link, you want to make sure you include that there. And also, if you're including a phone number in the sample message, you want to make sure that you have that selected there, right? So just whatever these sample messages need to be consistent with what we got going on right there. So you can just copy this as an example. You obviously want to replace your domain, your company name in these examples. I'm just going through this and I'm not going to complete it or expect it to get approved, but you just want to replace this with all of your business details, right? And then for a number to use, you can use the number you just purchased, or you can just use your mobile number or anything like that for the sample. But I would recommend trying to make it all unique to your business. And they don't recommend having placeholders of hey, first name ABC business or whatever, like make sure it's like legit, like hey John or hey Jane or whatever, which I don't know why they want that, but yeah, just apparently they don't like placeholders. And then you can continue, and we can see how do leads consent to receive messages. All right, so this is kind of like the this is the what they see on the website. And so you want to make sure now on your form, if you go to forms, if you're in your if you downloaded the website template and you like got the website template up and running, then if you go to your sites and you go to forms, one of the forms that you have is you have this website form, the contact form, and you want to make sure you click on phone number, and you want to make sure it's not required. And so that's kind of a new thing for A2P. And then you want to make sure you have two separate checkboxes, and then I will leave the verbiage for each checkbox in the school on the school thing right here. I'll have the verbiage here. And so you want to make sure you have two different checkboxes. So when they go to your site, you want to make sure your site is not branded with any high-level links. So you want to make sure you have your own domain attached to this. This is just a preview link, so I'm not looking at anything official, but you just want to make sure that the phone number is not required. So if we refresh this, you can see it's not required. It doesn't have that asterisk, and you have the two checkboxes. And so you just want to go straight to the source, like A2P campaign best practices and stuff like this. I mean, Highlevel is going to keep this stuff updated. The tricky thing about me making these videos, guys, is that like in 3 months, this is probably going to be outdated, right? And so I don't want to come in and make every single video about phone numbers every 3 months. And so that's why I'm including links to like Highlevel and stuff like that, because this is like their main job. Like their job is to make sure we get phone numbers. And so go directly to Highlevel, go to TextGrid for help on getting approved. And also people in the community are helpful. Like people are posting their responses. Like you can see this guy posted what he got approved in TextGrid, all this stuff. Like people are helpful. And so anyways, yeah, so this is just about the two checkboxes here. And so you can see an example. Let's just go ahead and paste this example in here. We can kind of edit it, and you just opt in by visiting, and then you want to put your website link. So you want to put the contact us page here, and filling in their details. Users check a box to receive notifications, and then I would say like, and a separate box to I would say transactional messages, and a separate box for promotional message to provide their consent. Additionally, users can also text start, and so you can add that there. Campaign description here. If I can find it, go back. All right, and then opt-in message. This is just what happens when somebody is opted in. You can just see the example, and then you can adjust it with your business name. And so, guys, I really haven't had too many issues getting approved for campaign and for brand in Highlevel for A2P. It's just been like getting it at scale for all of our clients. Like that's been the tricky part. And that's where TextGrid kind of comes in. But in terms of just getting your own number from Highlevel, this has just been pretty easy for me. So hope this is all right. So let's talk about how to get approved with TextGrid. So first, you're obviously going to need a TextGrid account. So if you can't figure out how to sign up, then that's kind of on you. I'm just kidding. Yeah, you just sign up here and throw your information in and create your account. But then once you log in, you'll be here. And so you probably want to go ahead and add a card on file and just go ahead and add like $10 to your balance or something, just because you will need some money in here to purchase phone numbers and to verify your campaign. And the campaign registration and brand registration is a lot cheaper in TextGrid than it is in Highlevel. So that is nice when you're not using an LC phone and stuff like that. And so you'll see like sub accounts here. This is the GoHighLevel integration. A really important thing to do is like do not purchase phone numbers on the main account level if that's what you're trying to do, if you're trying to do the GoHighLevel integration, right? So if you're using GoHighLevel and you're integrating with GoHighLevel, you do not want to use this phone numbers at the main account level. And so when we go to sub accounts here, you'll just click on attach a GHL sub account and you'll connect one of your sub accounts. But what we're going to do today is we're going to figure out how to get A2P approved. So you can see here, first thing you want to do is you want to get a brand. So you're going to have to get a brand verified to then attach that brand to a campaign. And so if we go to like the brand here, this is very You want to make sure that all this information is consistent with what is listed on your business. So on your SS4 or on your CP575, you just want to make sure that the legal company name is exactly as is with the LLC, with the proper casing, whether it's all caps or not. Probably private profit. You're probably a private profit entity. Select your segment, and then you want to make sure your address is consistent. It's the same thing that's registered on your address on your registration form for your business. And then same thing, make sure you have your website and make sure you have your phone number. You want to make sure this phone number is your phone number, right? So you want to make sure that it's not a Twilio number or a Highlevel number, but it is a mobile number that you have access to that's not, connected to Highlevel or Twilio or something like that. And so when you submit that, it should go through very quickly, right? Like the brand thing is actually pretty simple. The only time it wouldn't is if you are a brand new company and your LLC name and your legal company name is not listed in the IRS database yet. And what you have to do, contact TextGrid support for that, and then they will give you a form to fill out to get that done. And so if we go to brand and we do a new brand, let me see real quick. Add a new brand. Let's just see if they have choose up account registration video. I was just going to see if they have an example of where to do that. Yeah, I don't think they do, but basically just reach out to their support. They have a separate form for you to fill out to make sure that your LLC gets registered in the IRS database so that your brand can get approved. And then once you get your brand approved, you can click on the brand. So once you click on your brand there, you can scroll down and you can see your campaigns, and you can click on register a new campaign. And so you click on register new campaign, and from there, that's going to take you to here. This is going to take you through the campaign registration process. And so when you're doing this, what you want to do is you want to make sure that for 99% of us, the low volume mixed use case is going to be the one we want to choose. And then I think I chose customer care and I chose marketing. So those are the two that I chose. And then in terms of special campaign type, we don't really need any of that. We're just going to be this low mixed volume. And then we're going to go to the carrier, and you can see this is basically just saying, okay, with this campaign, you're only able to send 2,000 messages segments to T-Mobile numbers every day. And then for AT&T, this is throughput per hour. So 75 SMS per minute, throughput per minute. So 75 messages per minute to AT&T numbers. And then Verizon doesn't have theirs listed. And you say, yes, this throughput is good. And then from here, we have the campaign description. So I broke down exactly what I put in mine. Here, you can just say Review Harvest sends text messages to users who consent to receive promotional and customer care, because that's what we selected on that previous page there after their transaction. And you can see you can just copy and paste this into your description and change the words, obviously change Review Harvest and stuff like that. And then the tricky one is this call to action messaging flow, explaining kind of how they got there and how they're opting in. And so you can see I have a very, very in-depth answer here that's linking to my contact page, where it basically has what we have on this contact page. This will load. It has exactly what we have here also in our description here. So I'm not going to read this aloud, but you can just copy this from there and you can paste it into the call to action. Privacy policy, place your privacy policy link in here. You can watch my other video. It's earlier in the course about using Termly. Termly allows you to create a privacy policy. Let me just see if I can go to their main website. Termly just allows you to create a privacy policy. It's like $15 a month or something. But what they do is as stuff stays up to date, as privacy laws change, they update your privacy policy and your terms and conditions automatically. So you don't have to worry about that. And they make it pretty easy to create your terms and conditions and your privacy policy. Just be ready to answer about 60 questions per, and a lot of the questions you won't know what they mean. And so just answer the best you can, I guess, or consult with a lawyer. Obviously, this is not legal advice, but I use Termly for my terms and conditions and for my privacy policy. So obviously you go to reviewharvest.com and you can see kind of an example of what we have here. Don't just copy it, because there's going to be stuff that's different. Even though we're all doing reviews, there's going to be stuff that's different. But you can see we've got our privacy policy and our terms and condition. And this is actually just like a widget that you embed a bit of code so they can dynamically change it as stuff changes. And so you want to make sure you paste your terms and conditions and privacy policy here, and then call to action, privacy policy, multimedia upload. I don't think I uploaded anything here. This is just, oh no, this is a screenshot. So I did upload something here. This is the screenshot of your contact us page. So just take a screenshot of your contact us page and all this crap on it, and then you can just submit that here. And then sample text messages. Here's the sample text messages that I used. You can just use these 5 here, just like, hey, John, can you take a second to leave a review for Review Horse? It only takes a few clicks, helps out tremendously. Here's the link. And then boom, we just have all that stuff there. And so if we go back to here, sample messages. And then if you want to do like an example of a personalized image, you can't. I don't think I did anything there. And then you want to make sure that you have these all selected: help, opt out, opt in. Number pooling, no, don't worry about that. Don't worry about direct lending, because unless you're doing loans and stuff. But we will embed a link, and we will embed a phone number, because if you have, like you can see in one of these sample messages, I included a phone number. So make sure you have that selected, or it'll immediately get rejected. And just put no for affiliate marketing and no for age-gated content, and then submit. And then once it is submitted, you'll be able to go to campaigns, and you'll be able to see, boom, carrier status is accepted. And the cool thing is, though, when you have to resubmit it, it's really easy. They save all your information there, and so you'll be good to go. It's pretty easy to resubmit if you need to, and their support is very helpful in terms of making sure it gets approved. And so now you got your campaign and your brand registered. All right, so once your campaign is approved in TextGrid, you can check that by going to campaigns. And then you can see carrier status accepted. Once your campaign is approved, what you want to do is you want to click on sub accounts, and you want to click on attach GHL sub account, and it's going to prompt you to log in. And so you want to make sure you do not, I repeat, do not connect the agency. That's going to not work at all. And so let me just find a demo account real quick. Yeah, cool. So we can just use the demo website one, and you just want to sign in. It's going to be the custom SMS provider, and you want to proceed. All right, and so from there, now you want to purchase a phone number on the sub account level. So you can see here, we want to purchase it on the sub account level. And so if we go to, just to make sure, if we go, except this, we go to sub accounts, you can see where our sub accounts are. So we've got testing email account, testing email domains, these ones I connected earlier, demo website. So you can see there, I was about to purchase the phone number under the wrong sub account. So make sure you're careful there. But once you're in the sub account, you'll be able to click here, and you'll be able to add phone numbers and stuff under this sub account, whatever you titled it, right? Or whatever it's titled. And so from there, what you want to do is you want to go to phone numbers. You want to go to buy a number, and you want to just search an area code, whatever you want. And they're 50 cents a pop, so that's not bad. 50 cents a month, that's not bad at all. Compared to Highlevel's $1.15. And there's a one-time fee of 25 cents to purchase the number. But once you buy the phone number, let it load here. All right, sweet. So we want to configure the number. If you would like to it kind of started loading there forever, but if you click on phone numbers, we can just check and make sure. Active numbers, we can check and make sure that number was added. You see it wasn't added. Let's see, number. All right, so we'll start from, and you can just check your main account and see if your balance was deducted. Mine wasn't. So let's go back. Let's go to sub accounts. Honestly, even the people at TextGrid will tell you that their UI is not the most intuitive. They said that they'll get to it when it's a priority. But anyway, let's see, active numbers. Okay, here we go. Now you can see that it loaded into the site there. And you see it's not attached to a campaign. And so what we want to do, we can click on this number and configure the hosting and stuff, or configure the number so we can add a name to it. I think you have the ability to you do some advanced stuff here with phone numbers and messaging and stuff like that, auto forwarding calls and stuff like that. if that's really important to you. But you can just title this whatever, maybe the name of the client or whatever. But from here, what you want to do is you want to go to the sub account, and we want to attach it. We want to go to this sub account's phone number. We want to attach to a campaign. And so you want to choose the campaign that you have approved, attach campaign to this phone number. All right, request sent. You can see that this may take several minutes or up to a few days. And so if you are struggling with this taking a while, one, ask TextGrid, ask them what's the holdup, what's going on, or whatever. But you can do this in advance, right? So you can create 10 future sub accounts for your clients before you get them, and you can attach 10 phone numbers to them, verified, ready to go. And this is better than even the toll-free thing I used to do, where I used to purchase toll-free numbers, verify them in advance on a sub account, because you still have to verify each toll-free number every single time. And so now we just verify it once, create a sub account with your snapshot, add it to TextGrid, and then attach the phone number to it. And so if we go to like our ATP registration, go to campaigns, we can see, you see this is accepted. Let's see if we can see phone numbers attached. Yes, you can see phone numbers attached here. And once it is attached to the sub account, what you'll be able to do is go to settings, and you'll be able to go to phone numbers, and you click on advanced settings, and you just want to make sure advanced settings, and you'll make sure that TextGrid is the default SMS provider. So you just want to save that, make sure that's the case. It's not going to pop up. I don't think your number is going to pop up under here, because that's kind of hosted in TextGrid. But from there, you should be able to text through the workflows, through everything just kind of naturally. So you should be good to go. Yeah, that's the TextGrid integration. The big thing to remember is just make sure you're purchasing the phone numbers under the sub account, and you're not purchasing the phone numbers up here from the main account level. If you need to see your sub accounts, you just go here, and it should be pretty self-explanatory from there. So hope this is helpful. Thanks.